That's not completely lore accurate,
All
but
right,
it's essentially that.
Edward, you tell uh so you have two gun walls with you. They're Wills and Burke. Oh, you tell Wills to climb up into the cockpit with Lena to guide you back down to the Kuggan spaceport.
I Yes, thank you.
You break the somewhat thin yellowish brown atmosphere of the planet, and you get a sweeping view of the brown endless land masses that make up the wastelands around Cuggan Starport and Cuggan Shanty.
Hmm.
From where you're coming in at, stretching out to the north, covering a lot of your vision, is the green, waveless, flat sulfur seas.
Hmm.
The
Certainly.
starport itself is what you would call a low port. It doesn't reach up into the atmosphere and really can't accommodate large vessels. And the few ships that you do see kind of moving back and forth are higher ups from the various crews around the sulfur seas. You can only get, like the basic refined oil for your ships. You can't dock something that probably has more than a jump one at most, and there's probably not a lot of spots for that in the first place. It's all kind of run down, matching uh, the shanty town nearby. Lena wills he kind of taps you on the shoulder. Hey, you see that? You see that spot right there? It's jutting out of the fifth floor platform of the starport. I
Yeah,
think
I
we
see
can
it.
land there. Yeah, that's where we picked you up from.
All right, I'll take her down.
You land uh, pretty comfortably in the middle of the platform, and the gunwall in the back Burks. He flips a hatch, and with steam shooting out of the bottom, the back of uh, the shuttle slams down. You can see that there's about two armed men carrying shoddy rifles, and they're standing back by the main spire part of the port, kind of just guards standing by, watching over. They
Hmm.
don't seem affiliated with any particular pirate group. Instead, they kind of make their homes in Cuggan Shanty and maintain it as a neutral place for the castaways and whoever makes it this far away uh, from the megacity, Voskl Central.
Hmm.
It's it's about midday. There's about 22 hours in a day here on Voskl. The sun kind of peers down through the brown and yellow, almost sandish texture of the skies at all times. Uh, it's windless. It's kind of hot, and it always smells like rotten eggs around here.
Hmm.
Okay.
Smells like home.
Been my home for the last 8 years. By the way, was there a different pilot who flew you guys up?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that was James. He
Did
got pulled out of the he got pulled out of the ship and cut down. Remember, his
Yeah.
body was still in the hangar. I think he's out floating in space now.
ah, I wasn't sure who that fellow was that got cut down.
Bastards. Chloe's gonna pay for this. Oh, more than he already has. All right, Teach.
We've made him play plenty, but it still isn't enough.
What are you gonna do with all that? With all that money? The other guy, Burke says.
We should get a ship, maybe get out of here, lay low for a little while.
Hmm.
I don't want anyone coming around looking for the money.
I got a spot.
Where? You
My
think,
house is
Trap?
pretty. My house is pretty much on the outlands. Close enough to the city to make it a day trip, but not close enough anybody would really come snooping for anybody.
That seems
I
good.
like it. Is there any place around here we might be able to buy a ship?
There is about 4 or 5 miles to the south of Cuggin Shanty. You might find a star, kind of like a star field. It's basically just an open desert lot, wasteland. But you might be able to pick up a few used ships there, but they're probably gonna be on the shitty end, boss.
Hmm.
Well, we're
That's
just
alright.
trying. Yeah, we're just trying to make do until at least some of the heat dies down from this.
Don't waste too much of the money on the getaway vehicle.
Have
Very
you
true.
tried talking to the High Captain? He might be able to hook you up with something better. Or you could just go into the mega city and spend all your money there.
We'll talk to the High Captain. That's a good idea. Thank you.
We could also talk to your other associates.
Yeah. Maybe the Gunwalls have a ship they don't need anymore.
Hmm.
Or the 45.
Yeah, that's more who I was talking about.
Who are the 45?
You don't know the 45?
I'm not particularly from around here that much. I've spent a little time here.
How long have you been here, Lena?
Since I crashed my jet a couple of years ago, like a year or two.
It's like a year or two? Okay.
Yeah.
And you haven't learned about the 45 in a year?
Well, to be fair, they're not that. They're not
Yeah, I
a
know.
public
I know.
faction.
Yeah, I
They're
know.
kind
I've
of like
got
the
a good
Gene
person
Stealers from
who can
40K.
introduce you.
Hmm.
An old friend named Ben.
Hmm.
Or sorry, his name's Rory. No.
Rory is the father, but
Okay,
Benjamin
Have you
is the
drank a
son.
few too
His
many,
name's
my
Ben.
friend?
Ah.
Have you drank- Uh, yeah, well, only one way to get started. We gotta get out of here. Who do you say we head for first, Teach? As I go and grab my rifle from the rack.
Let's go see Ben first. It's always a surprise when you talk to someone from the 45.
Hmm.
All right.
Always a
Equipment
fun
check.
time.
Equipment check. Uh, vehicles. Who has vehicles?
None of us have vehicles because we only had the 2,000 starting spending. If
Okay.
you'd like, I could quickly use the chart I had for vehicles and say I own a vehicle. And dock it from my money.
Okay.
I have 2 ship chairs. That's it.
Second question. Comms. Does anybody have like a comm communication device?
Yeah, I have one
We
up on
do.
comms.
Negative.
Not the skill comms. An actual
Like,
like
communicator.
a transponder.
Yes,
No,
I
that's
have
not
one.
in my starting
Oh
budget.
no, I do not.
You
Maybe
do?
we should supply up for
Oh.
I think you recommended it. Let me make sure I actually have it within my skill thing. My sheet.
The reason I'm asking is because Cuggin's Cove or Cuggin Shanty is actually on what could be considered the other side of the planet from
Oh.
the mega city. Yeah. It's not a drive. The reason that is because any illicit goods and any, untrustworthy people trying to land on the planet, they're not going to land in the mega city. They're not going to take the Imperium's starport and go through the security on top of the high law level of the planet around the mega city. Out here,
Mm.
you're in the Wild West. you can have your shitty little starport that can maintain, minor ships and kind of keep things moving, but the reason that Teach has a job in the first place is because he takes the goods that come in from the starport, loads them up onto sulfur crafts, which Teach you would have come probably on one of those.
Oh, okay.
And then you smuggle those goods to somewhere around the city and get them in that way.
So we can sail somewhere too.
Yes, I think I posted a map. I think I sent it to Nick. Let me check.
Yeah.
But essentially, it's with a few choke points aside, it's one big ocean of sulfur that kind of connects this landmass together. Going through the land, it's harsh, it's rough, it's just wastelands and creatures and thirst, and it's just a bad time. So instead, you load up a ship, and that's the most convenient way to travel on this shitty planet.
Fun.
Okay.
So you do have access to a sulfur craft that you came on. Cuggan's
It-
shanty, you can do some stuff around here. Like I said, this is a neutral place and also where the starport is, so there's a little bit of shopping to be done, but it's going to be kind of like the common stuff you'd find among pirates and rabble. The gun walls have multiple ports around, depending on who you're looking for. Not too far, they're kind of scattered around this bay where Cuggan's Cove is. And then you would have to, here's the map, perfect. Let me get this. Oh, I can explain it better. If you look in the Discord, on the very far left, you'll see there's a little purple marker. It looks like 4 squares in one of the tiles next to the water. That is the starport and Cuggan Shanty. You sail up northwards, and you'll eventually kind of cut through this this narrow passage. And sailing through that, there's another wide stretch of water or sulfur, and then another narrow passage which is a little bit more kind of heavily guarded. The Imperium and the CIMC keep watch on this passage more closely because this is the last stop before you get into the open sea where you can dock and be close to the megacity.
So it's a pretty long trek.
Mm-hmm. It's going in a straight line, you could probably make the trip in about 2 or 3 days. If you're like really pushing it. Typically, if you're taking it easy, it might take about a week.
What if we ask the gun walls to drop us off at the mega city?
Yeah,
Have
you
a
could.
ship. And then we
Logical.
just kind of leave the boat here, and then we buy a ship to leave.
Yeah, you totally could do that.
That kind of gives us a reason to get a ship too, I guess.
Yeah, if you wanted to just turn around and get back on the shuttle, you don't have anything better to do, and you wanted to beeline it straight across the planet, yeah, you could totally do that. That's fine.
Yeah, what does everybody else think? Tren, what are your thoughts? That blappy brain.
My blappy brain. Huh. Yeah.
Seems logical to me.
You're standing there, like, kind of talking to
here.
each other, and one of the guards
Yeah.
standing by at the end, he's like, "Hey, who won the game?"
I
Oh, you're a rich man now, ain't ya? What are you gonna do with it all?
Try to stay alive.
That's a good idea. A lot of people be coming for all that money.
And we'll be long gone by the time they come looking.
Yeah.
Yar, you think you could take us to the mega city?
Will's looks over at you. You're planning to go straight to the city?
Yes, an old friend we need to talk to before we leave.
All right. Yeah, we can do that. Let's just refuel the shuttle and then we can take off.
Thank
Edward,
you.
do you think we should call ahead to him? I do have a comm. We might be able to get a hold of him if you have a way.
Yes. I know the 45's frequency they use for radio on this planet. I'll be able to send a message to him.
Unfortunately, they couldn't get the 45th, huh? And I toss him the comm.
Can I try to call?
Who are you calling?
Can I call Ben to let him know we're on our way?
Yeah.
Oh, sick.
I think
Would I have a way?
comms are pretty basic enough to understand. So yeah, you start up the comms and you get a lot of loud static for about 30 seconds, and like the machine doesn't seem to be faulty. You just get a lot of this loud, nasty static, and then suddenly you hear the voice cutting through, and it's kind of breaking up at parts. Hello? Hey, hey, can you hear me?
Yar, I hear you coming through.
Oh my. Oh, Ed. Hey, Ed. Hey, listen, man. It's awesome that you called. It's really great to hear from you. What are you doing?
We're on our way out of town, and we're looking for a ship.
I'm kind of gonna mouth to him. Does he sound okay?
Ben, you don't sound so well. How are you doing?
Oh, okay. So, listen, you know that old, remodeled scout ship that my dad has? He keeps in that hangar up in the dome, up at the dome starport. Yeah, me and Cody kind of took that out last night. Just cruising around. We kind of hit a pillar, man. Like
Ben,
we went kind of far out and we hit a pillar, man. I don't think the ship's busted up. Like there's no holes, but it won't start. And Pete's not answering me. Like the AI, he's not answering me. Cody keeps talking about like leaving, dude. And he's like, he thinks we're close enough to the city, but I think we kind of went pretty far out, man. I can't really remember though.
Can you send me your location?
Yeah. Here, let me. And then from on the comms, you get a ping, and if you open that up on the transponder, you can kind of see a little small red circle, circled out in the waste. He's pretty out there. He's kind of like out in the middle of the desert. Did you get it?
Yeah, I see it. Wills, I have a friend in trouble. Please, can you take us here?
Yeah, I guess so.
Thank you.
Hey, look, man. We kind of need to fix the ship up. This is my dad's, and he doesn't know that I took it. He's going to actually kill me if he sees
Ben, I've got some very smart friends with me. I think we might be able to help you out.
Thank you, man. Like, I really owe you one, dude. All right, we're gonna sit tight.
45. All right, sit tight.
All right, bye. And he's panicking, kind of like fumbling with the transponder before you hear it click off, and all you're left with is just like the blowing wind on the platform.
Trent's gonna turn to Coomer. Coomer, have you worked on any ships lately?
Not that I remember, but Wouldn't hurt to take a look at our fellow.
What
I'm
about
sure
you,
we can work
princess?
something out. Oh no, I don't know the first thing about mechanics, but I'm sure I could do some basic diagnosing.
Edward, do you happen to have a little bit of expertise?
I have
With
a little bit of
ships.
mechanical expertise when it comes to ships.
Alright, I think it's gonna be probably me and you with the wrenches on this one.
Listen, if it's an electronics problem, I can help you, maybe.
And I'm sure if we get the AI back on, I think maybe Coomer can help work with him to get the
Yeah, I can probably take a.
system working.
I can take a look at that.
Thank you.
This
All
kid's
right.
more trouble than he's worth.
Mhm.
Ha 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 ha.
At least it's the middle of the desert. Nobody will go looking for us there while we waste time.
I've had enough gunfire for one day.
Yeah. How close are we to full?
No, we're good to go. We can take off whenever you're ready.
I'm gonna wave to the other guards outside the ship and start closing that back gate.
They're too cool and tough to wave back, so they kind of give you nods. But they're happy to see you. You know from experience, just the humans on this planet kind of just like aliens. They're just nicer in general. Aliens kind of remind the people that there's more than this shithole planet. So you load back up onto the shuttle after refueling. The transponder's map coordinates are pinging you out into the middle of the desert. And the shuttle lifts back up. Lena, are you flying?
Yes, she is.
Okay. Make a.
Friend would like to roll to close his eyes.
Well, alright.
Make a what?
No, never mind. So you take off flying northeast. You dive down and you get a good flying shot of Kugin's shanty, just stacks of patchwork buildings and a bazaar stretching down the center of it. Flying overhead and then, leaving tracks on the sulfur seas as you skim over top. You pull back up and it's just long stretches of brown desert ahead. Not too much to see or do. However, thankfully, the ship and the shuttle, or the trip in the shuttle, makes it pretty painless. In about 15 minutes, you're cruising, leaving the sulfur seas behind, and all there is just wasteland sand. It's all pretty flat, additionally. Coming up ahead, you see a pretty common occurrence on this planet. There's these storms that it's not rain, or if it is rain, it's these heavy black droplets of sulfur that's been suspended in the air, and it drops down and acts like acid on the skin. But when these storm clouds kind of group together, purple lightning begins flashing down and striking the desert, glassing the sand. And additionally, the wind currents kind of start picking up maelstroms and creating tornadoes. It's just this natural sandstorm of the planet. Make a quick pilot check for me.
Sure. What? Pilot small craft?
Yeah.
Okay. Can I use intelligence?
I think it would be more like Dex or something like that.
Okay. Sure. There you go. 10.
Yeah, so if you've been here flying around for a year or so, Lena, you can navigate these, the landscape pretty well.
Indeed.
Moving behind these tornadoes and past the storm. You travel for about another 5 or 10 minutes, and it's completely featureless out here. Until eventually, very far off in the distance, kind of central to one of the transponders is pinging off, you can see this huge singular rock spire. It stretches up hundreds of feet into the air, and it is the only landmass in sight.
That's
For
an interesting
miles
one.
around, it's flat desert except for this spire.
How do you? How did they hit the one thing that exists?
You know, maybe it's because it's the only thing that exists. Maybe they weren't expecting anything to exist.
Well, as long
I
as you
don't
don't
know.
hit it.
I don't know, but I might hit him too.
Make a recon check, everybody.
Alrighty.
I think that would be int, I guess.
Okay.
Ooh.
Oh shoot, I forgot about the 2d6, not
sand.
1.
Sand batters against the
What do I see?
the window of the ship as you're flying along. It's pretty difficult terrain. You can barely make out that spire in the distance. But Tren, as you're peering out the glass, you spot, just narrowly out of the right side as it passes, there seems to be this blackish-looking shape laying down on the sand, and surrounding it appear to be 3 what look like bipedal dogs that have some kind of grayish hard covering on their backs and heads, and these dogs are either like pacing around or taking bites and ripping parts off of this mass on the ground.
Bren's gonna point it out to the people, and then second ask, does this scooter have any pew pews?
No. You ask Wills, and he shakes his head. No, this is just a civilian craft.
Figured not. Edward, that look like your buddy, or are we just gonna hope they don't notice us?
I don't know. Do I know? Did my low recon score mean I don't know, or can I?
No. Typically, a success is 8 or higher.
I don't know. It's too hard for me to see from here.
Yeah, I can't tell either.
You're probably like 10 or 15 miles away from that spire in the distance.
How far are we away from the beeping thing?
The beeping thing seems to be in this general area. You're probably on the southern band of it, so not quite in the center of where it is.
Can you take it low and slow by that?
Yep, I can do that.
I don't think we want to engage it immediately.
Yeah.
You got any parachutes on this thing, just in case we have to make a quick jump in?
What? No, this is a spaceship.
You don't want to
Hey!
jump in the sulfur sea.
It's not a sea. This is that is a desert.
Yar, I'm kind of drunk.
He admits it.
You're supposed to wait until we get home to start celebrating, boss.
Yar, I saw me life flash before me eyes.
Oh my god. Lena, you pull the ship down, blasting huge mounds of smoke up, or sand up around the ship as you get closer to the ground. These bone dogs, they look up and they start barking wildly at the ship, but they're backing off, and with tails between their legs, if you lower the ship down close enough, they start bouncing off towards the desert. You look down, and there's definitely some kind of decayed or mutilated body laying in the sand, partially covered. In the distance, you can see the storm still raging, tornadoes touching down every now and then.
Well, that doesn't look like our ship or our friends. I
Nope.
say we leave it alone.
Yeah, that would be logical.
Then let's move on.
Indeed. I pick it up a bit.
Yeah, the ship hums and roars as you put it back into acceleration. You skim along the sand and drive along the desert, and as the spire gets closer, it's actually pretty huge. This one singular landmass, like a middle finger sticking up out of the desert. Eventually, as you get close enough, it's probably about early evening, early mid-evening as you get close to the base, and finally you can start seeing a little bit of black smoke rising up from the far end. Bobbing and weaving around the pillar, you look down and you can see that there's a pretty substantially sized scout ship just crashed down into a nook. It looks like, just from an initial inspection, it looks like part of the side of the ship has been scraped pretty heavily, but you don't see any breaches, at least from your angle. And it doesn't seem destroyed, but like from the cockpit area, a little black stream of smoke rises up, and you can tell that there's no electricity or anything going on the inside. The sun is starting to dip down a tiny little bit closer to the sand, and the light turns into a reddish glow around the desert.
Well, there's the ship. We should...
Guess we take her down there. We might have to be sleeping in this ship tonight.
Indeed, I agree. All right, let's
That's true.
take her down
True.
and land next to him.
Yeah.
Especially with those bone dogs around, they might be night hunters.
Yup.
You do so. You bring the shuttle down, landing it a little bit away from the crashed scout ship. The size difference is laughable. Your little shuttle looks like a toy compared to this modified scout ship ahead of you. All is quiet in the desert. You just get a little bit of sand blowing across in the wind. Spire looms overhead ominously.
All right. Well, I guess we should go on over. See if we can get the door open at least and get into them. Get into their ship.
Yeah.
All right, that sounds like a good idea, Lena.
Thank you.
Can't believe only 2 people were flying that.
Amazing, I
Maybe
know.
they weren't doing such a good job, eh?
Yeah, to hit the big middle finger in the middle of the desert.
Yeah.
See, now you have me talking wrong, Edward. Starting to rub off.
Alrighty.
Yeah, if you approach the ship,
Yeah, can I do like a recon
Yeah,
on the ship?
I think we'd all want to recon as we're
Yeah.
walking up.
Yeah.
recon specifically on the ship, I think we would use something different for that. Probably a mechanic or something like that if you want to inspect the ship for something in particular. Just looking it over.
I would be making sure there's nothing around us more than what the ship looks like. I can inspect the ship once I'm there,
Mm-hmm.
We
type
can
thing.
inspect the ship from inside the ship.
All right. Let's do you first, Tren. Go ahead and make a check,
Okay.
recon check.
Okay. Woo! I see nothing.
Hey,
No, Tren, hey, it's pretty dry and hot out here, my dude. What kind of water you got?
I got enough water. Like I said, I was soaked when
Yeah.
started.
You're gonna want to.
Like
We're gonna need to give you like some kind of inventory item to keep track of how much water you got in these kind of situations.
yeah.
You're starting to dry out a little bit, and your eyes are kind of blinking, and the sand's getting into your eyes. It's unpleasant. And I mean, have you ever tried wearing a wetsuit in the fucking desert? It's the worst.
Oh god, that
That's
sounds
why he
terrible.
wears a cloak. But yeah,
Tyler,
it
or
still gets a little past that.
yeah, Edward. If you want to make an outside, like an outside check of this ship, you can use recon if you want, but it's
Can I use
kind of just going to
engineer?
be a look over.
Can I do engineer to make sure like the ship's not dangerous, like it's gonna blow up or anything?
From
Or
the
all these
outside, you can
fuel
make an
leaks?
engineering check, but it's going to be kind of difficult to pick out anything.
All right, just
So-
roll.
We'll call that a DM or you're looking for a 10, DM 10, I guess we could say.
What's my modifier?
Your engineering and your
Dexterity.
education.
Education.
Mhm.
What about int? No, that makes sense. All right, cool. Education.
The difference is intellect is something that you can figure out with just raw intellect. You can figure it out. Education is like
I'd
you
have to
need
train
to
know how to
know something.
it.
You need to read the book on it.
Edward, don't read.
Edward, don't read
Neither
books.
does Lena.
So
Book's
yeah,
bad.
no, Edward, you're making the look around, and as you're walking along, the engine side, the thruster side, is kind of poking out at you, and as you're walking up inspecting it, you can see that the backside of the ship in general kind of escaped any damage. It's kind of unclear from the outside if there's any, what's preventing the ship from starting up, if any. Eventually, if you keep walking up to the ship, you'll reach. There are several hatches on the ship, one on each side, and this one, you look up, and it's suspended at like 15 feet above you is a hatch, and if that opens up, typically on these models, a little ladder will flip out and will descend down, letting you climb up.
Let's head on in. I'll go in first, or try
Ow.
to open the
15 feet up. How are you getting up there?
Yeah, it's closed and 15 feet up on the side of a ship.
I'm still drunk.
Oh, it's my Black Mesa Power Legs, Gordon.
Good thing we've all packed our Black Mesa Power Legs.
Right, Gordon?
I don't have
I say we give them a quick call. Hopefully, we can get them to drop us a
Play the
line.
ladder.
I will hit the
Idea.
redial button.
Hey, Ed, are you there?
No, this is Tren.
Oh, hello, Tren. Is Ed there?
Yes. Open up.
Oh, are you guys here? Oh, thank
Yeah,
God.
Yes.
that noise was us landing.
Pete, wake up! Open the hatch! Pete! Sorry. Hold on. Give me a second. And then you just hear a lot of loud crashing and banging for a solid 2 or 3 minutes.
Can you not break the ship more than it already is?
Oh, there's just a lot of shit in here. And hold on. Which hatch are you at?
Yes.
Okay. Hold on. And you
How
hear
am I supposed to answer that?
port or starboard.
All right, Edward, that's your.
Starburst.
I don't know which side that is. So,
Give us the definition.
all right. And then a brief pause. All right, I got it. But you look up and the hatch door is still closed.
Guys, I don't think he got it.
I'm pretty sure you got the wrong one.
Fuck.
Don't.
And about 30 seconds longer, you see the little cracks start forming on the sealed hatch. Eventually, he pushes it out, and steam, pumps out from the sides as it releases, and then it starts swinging up on hydraulics, hanging up above him. You see this young 18-year-old kid. He's got long, shoulder-length black hair and sharp features and kind of a sharp face. And, his eyes indicate there's not too much going on upstairs, but, he's smiling. He seems like a good kid. So he waves down to you, and the little automatic ladder starts unfolding down and reaching down to the sand. Hey, thanks for picking me up, guys.
What happened?
How did you hit the only bit of land for literally miles?
Yeah, he looks up and is like, look, I don't know. We were a little drunk. But
Edward is drunk too.
A little drunk.
look, it was dark. There was a lot of sand, and Cody kept playing this shitty new age music. It was really loud, and there was lights flash and everything. Like, we got this cockpit decked out. You see, you play music, and the lights change, and the seats start vibrating. It's really, really fucking cool. Anyway,
Are you some of those gay kids who put like a speaker in the bottom of your seat to feel it in your butt?
We're gonna
just
ignore
ducks back
that.
inside the ship after a brief moment of silence.
I'm taking that as a yes, and now I'm gonna start
That's an
climbing the ladder.
But I'm also gonna go like test out those seats.
Since Tren went up the ladder first, every rung that he touched is a little wet. Just a little moist.
Oh, it's slippery.
Sorry, so what did you say you're doing, Lena?
She's just gonna climb up and she's like, oh, it's slippery.
The inside of the scout ship. This one's it's a lot smaller on the inside than it looks from the outside. A lot of that space is engines and piping that runs through the walls and a lot of the open spaces on the bottom area. Instead, the top area, you've got this half circle type of open common room. Forward, you got a long straight hallway with a couple of doors poking off of either side that goes down to the cockpit. In the back, you've got sleeping quarters, a bit of storage, general amenities, and it's all kind of decked out. This kind of reminds you of like some boomers decked out RV if it was a spaceship. Like you bought something you used and you tricked it out real good. The lights are completely dead. There doesn't seem to be any power running through the ship at all. Down the hall, you can see Benjamin. He's sitting, in the cockpit, just kind of defeated, sitting in the chair. And he keeps hitting this switch, and you can hear like a little noise, and then it dies. Come on, Pete. Wake up. So you guys can fix the ship, right? Look, Ed, if my dad finds out that I took the ship and also broke it, I think he would actually leave me out in the desert this time, and not that as a joke like last time.
Maybe you need it.
Take us to engineering.
That's
Um,
that's harsh, dude.
we'll take a
But
look.
then I start trying to fix the ship.
Yeah,
Oh, boy.
I would start looking to see if I can find like
I-
what's
yeah.
actually wrong.
Lena wants to go down to like the engineering deck and just look around there and see if anything looks out of place, like something got jostled loose.
Since Bradley.
Harlow's gonna go.
Oh, go ahead, Harlow.
Yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and like see if I can find the AI computer module. See if I can look into that and fix it.
Gotcha. Since Lena and Harlow were the most specific with what they were doing, Lena, we'll start with you. You're going to go down to the engineering deck. Basically, you step through the back area and you move through the living quarters, and there's just this. It's a little back door, and it has a little hanging sign that says "outhouse" on it. So it might take you a minute to realize that you open this up, and there's actually a little hatch with a ladder that leads down to engineering through it. Heading down
So-
into the engine rooms, you can see um it's all very complex. Lots of pipes and wiring and all sorts of stuff. What are you thinking about rolling here?
Um, let's see. I don't really have anything super useful, and uh, I'm probably can I roll investigate with intelligence to spot anything that looks broken?
Yeah.
She may not know specifics, but I feel like she could tell if like a pipe was broken or something.
Yeah.
There we go. A 9. Does she
Nice.
do I notice anything broken in here?
Well, it takes you a minute. You kind of walk through the piping and the steam vents of the ship, and it croaks and, well, not croaks. I tried to say creaks and groans around
Ribbit.
you, but the ship croaks instead.
The ship is a frog. Frog in the pipes, that's what's wrong with it.
Boy. Uh, as you move around, you don't really spot anything at first. You kind of have to make your way back towards where the wiring is, and as you peer through multiple boxes that are connected up in just a myriad of colorful ways you don't understand, you can see that towards the top, about 10 feet up, hanging from the wall next to a catwalk, a part of the electrical, like an electrical box of some sort, has been dislodged from the wall. Little sparks kind of drop down repeatedly onto the floor in front of your feet, and you can see that whatever like wiring and piping connecting it to the wall has been kind of dislodged and pulled out.
Hmm. Can I try and fix it with like generic electronics?
Generic electronics is like skill level 0.
I mean, I have every kind of electronics at 1.
Oh, you do?
I
Well,
have
then yeah,
electronic
just
comms, computers, remote ops, and sensors.
oh yeah, then roll it at 1.
Yeah. I'm just gonna roll it as like I don't have one specifically, just generically labeled electronics.
What does
Like
that mean? I
on
thought
my
do you have skill level 1 in all your things, or do you
I have
have?
skill level 1 in all of my things because I have electronics at 1, but there was no drag and drop for electronics itself, so I haven't dragged and dropped it in here.
That's not how that works.
But I do have electronics 1.
You don't have electronics 1. You have electronics 0, and then you would have like electronics comms 1 or electronics computers 1. Electronics basic always stays at 0.
Okay. Cool. All right. So I'll just roll take a 1 off of that. 6. All
Would you
right.
like to take your time with this?
Yes, she would like to just like look it over.
So taking your time, you can add to the amount of time that a check takes, but gives you like a +1 DM over a certain period of time.
Okay.
So if you take like an extra hour or something to do this, you could
Yeah.
probably bump you up to a success.
Yeah, Lena will just like spend an hour like poking around with it.
Gotcha.
How about you go to the other people and then come back to me afterwards and then I'll roll it again.
Yeah, sounds good. So you climb up onto the catwalk and you try pushing the box in. You get a couple of sparks in your face. Takes you a minute.
Mm-hmm.
Harlow.
Yep.
So you said you're gonna try working with the computers.
Hmm.
You can see, Benjamin up in the cockpit. He's messing around with the controls, flipping the switch, trying to talk to somebody named Pete over and over again, and
Right.
he's like depressed that the AI is not responding.
Up there. What would be? How would I get access to this Pete's wiring the computer parts of it so that I can see if I can get him up and running again.
Hey, that would be great because then he could get the power back on. If you go back into the living quarters, there's like a kitchen area, right? And you've got that metal grate door that you pull open, and there's this big like breaker looking thing. But that actually is the kind of like the AI core for Pete.
All right, thank you very much.
There's not any power though, is the problem.
Ah. Hmm.
So that's kind of why I've been stuck here, because Pete's the only one who can get the power back on
I see.
for the
I
ship.
see. Hmm.
I like the fact that Pete is the only one that can turn on the power, but Pete doesn't work without power. I love that design.
Well, he's not the only
Oh.
one, but considering the crew of one we've got here, it's,
Yeah.
Can we
How much
some of the-
electricity would need to be generated for Pete to be able to turn on and turn the power back on?
ah. He just shrugs his shoulders at you.
Would Tren hear this?
Yeah.
Well, Tren's worked on scout ships because he's an ex-scout, so I assume he would have some sort of knowledge of that from working on those ships. Like whether you could jump it like that or not.
Yeah. So maybe like, what kind of role are you thinking about making?
I was
Well,
thinking just for me, just a flat education from my previous experiences, whether I would know that information off the top of my head to help him.
I don't think you can make flat characteristic roles, can you?
I have no idea.
I guess you could add my engineering one to it.
I
I'd
think
like to put the grade slot
engineering,
to go back into place.
engineering could work. Harlow, what were you thinking? Are you also trying to figure out what to do here?
yeah. Well, I was thinking of the reason I asked how much power it would take because I was thinking maybe I could use like my stun stick to kind of give it like a jump.
No. That's definitely not going to produce enough power to get the
Oh.
AI up
what-
long enough.
Okay.
What Tren thought you were talking about was hooking up the other ship to give
That
it
could work.
juice.
Do we have
Well.
jumper cables in this ship? I doubt Lena could hear anyone. She'd be too busy.
I can make jumper cables. Trust me on that.
Well, that's. I feel that might
grabs
work
the
then.
power cable of one ship and grabs the power of the other and goes "Grr, grr," and turns the ship on.
Exactly. But
So-
that might work actually then.
Well,
Tren?
can I roll to see if it worked?
Oh
Like
yeah.
if
sorry.
I know that.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Yeah, feel free.
Okay.
Yeah, Tren. You overhear him talking about, the lack of power, and you've been around scout ships before. You used to fly one, so, your idea of trying to link up the ship that you have and connecting its power to maybe isolate the AI core and then jumpstart that. Maybe you could just get that system online. That's definitely a possibility.
All right. I would definitely relay that to Coomer and say, "Do you think you can attempt to set that up yourself?"
Well,
While I look at the
I'm-
rest.
I may need your help with getting the cables, but once we have that, I do believe I should be able to do it myself.
Right? And Bren is 100% gonna see if there's any cables having to sit around here, so I'd probably turn to Ben and ask him, Ben, do you know of any ZZ cables, you know? Gotta transfer some energy.
Sorry, dude. Uh, no. I kind of just fly the ship, man.
Well,
We might have some back in like engineering somewhere. If you'd like to take a look around, you can make a intellect investigation roll.
I assume the gun walls aren't here, right? They stayed on the ship.
Yeah, they're outside.
Yeah, I can't ask them then. I guess I would do a quick look around before going.
Harlow, are you helping him at all?
Yeah, I'm gonna help and look around engineering there for the cables.
So, whoever has the lowest investigation, you got a 3. You're not finding shit anyway.
That would be me. I have -3 still, so.
I also have -3, so it's not worth it.
Go ahead and roll, Harlow. Anyway, just to see.
Yeah, nah.
Yeah. So it takes you a long time, man. As you dig around the ship, in the living quarters, it's a mess. This kid lives like a slob. There's just like food containers and stuff around, and a lot of like hatches on the floor just covered up by like rugs and trash. It's terrible, and it actually takes you like an hour or two to. It takes you like 2 hours to figure out where this damn cable that will connect and is long enough from your ship to their ship. Hey, Edward, what are you up to?
Yar, I'm hanging out with the gun walls outside.
Cool. Make a recon check. Intellect, recon, or education, whichever one. Make it with a +2 modifier since you got the 2 gun walls out there with you.
Oof.
Oh shit! So, as the sandstorm rages out in the desert, several miles out from where you are, you're sitting there just shooting the shit with the gun walls. Wills is leaning up against the ship, kind of inspecting his rifle, and the other one's just kind of kicking rocks. Wills looks over at you. So, hey, Teach, you really, getting a starship, getting out of here?
I think so.
Where are you gonna go?
I think I'll go with Tren back to his home world. See somewhere different for a little while.
Wow.
I've got enough money to not be a pirate for a little while. Might as well enjoy it.
Yeah. I hear those ships. I mean, the Imperium really fucks you sometimes. Like, you buy it new, and you think you got it all paid off, but then they come at you with these extra fees, and then you gotta buy the ammo and all this stuff. And, I hear it's not so easy as it sounds flying a starship around space.
I guess there's only one way to find out.
Something catches your eye as you're sitting around the ship or standing out in the dunes. You peer out, and as the sun begins dipping right where it meets the horizon against the reddish dull sun, you can spot a few black shapes. They're pretty much unnoticeable, except for this one specific situation where the light is giving them a backdrop, so you can make out humanoid forms. At first, you see 3 or 4, but then uh, another couple join them until you got about a dozen standing up there, a couple miles out from your crash site, and a few of them are dragging something kind of like with a rope. It looks like from this distance, like a black uh, box looking thing. And they're kind of just like standing out on the horizon, staring at the smoke coming from your ship.
Wills, do you see that? Out there on the horizon, those figures.
I don't see. What the fuck is that? Hey, you think those are
I ignore him
wasters?
and I just climb up to go tell everybody else.
Yeah, he's talking to Burke anyway. Fuck you. So, okay, go ahead.
I head in. Yar! There's figures on the horizon. Hurry up! What's the status?
Does Lena hear that?
Yeah, Lena. At this point, right before you hear him call, you're kind of dangling there, one leg kind of hanging off the catwalk as you're trying to push this electronics box back into place. Eventually, it's taken you longer than you wanted to, and it's been a lot of work, but you managed to shove it back in, and then it kind of snaps in with a crunch, and a bunch of sparks fall back onto the metal flooring. But you do hear him say that.
Coming! She shouts. She gets back up. She sort of like dusts off her skirt and then makes her way back up.
Ren would just run out because he probably cannot carry that jumper cable that we found.
Yeah.
It's too heavy for Tren.
Blep don't carry. Blep go blep.
Yeah, it's Trent. You hear Teach say that, and you can see the 2 gun walls. They climb up on top of the little shuttlecraft that you flew here on, and they're kind of staring out in the desert. And after a few minutes, the black shapes will disappear behind the dune as the sun slowly melts down behind the horizon. You carry out the jumper cables, and Wills kind of looks down, and is like, yeah, you need help. You alright, buddy?
Yeah, I'm good. How much time do you think we have until whatever that is gets here that Edward was talking about?
An hour or 2. Wasters, they kind of like make scrap weapons. So they might have some firearms over there, and I don't know what the fuck that thing is they're dragging. But we might want to stay inside once it gets dark.
Makes
Yeah,
sense.
Well, hopefully we can get this thing started before they waste any of our stuff here.
That would not be ideal.
We'll stay out here with the shuttle.
Goomer, if you want to, since at least we got the cables, you work on that. I'm going to check the outside of the ship, make sure it can at least fly once we have it going.
Got it. So, yeah. I'm gonna hook one of the cables up to the power box that we found in like the living area. Then, I might need Lena's help to get the stuff back to the other ship so we can hook up to that power.
Sure, I can help.
Alright.
Ren would look for Edward. Edward, do you mind helping?
Nah.
We got to make sure
not
it's
at
ready
all.
to fly.
Yeah, I go to help.
So what kind of rolls are we making here? What are we doing?
What am I helping with?
Are you helping me like get the other end of the power of like the jumper cable thing that we found hooked up to the other
Okay.
ship so that we can get the power?
So who's helping with the jumper cables? Who's helping?
I'm helping with cables.
Yeah, it's me and Lena with the cables, and then the other 2.
All right.
Is the cable heavy? Should I do the cable?
We can. I mean,
Okay,
Pretty sizable. It's kind of like a bundle of cables you have to drag over and hook
Yeah.
up to multiple ports.
I mean,
on your-
Trent got it. Trent got it by himself, so I think
Okay.
Lena and I can probably handle it together.
All right. So let's see. Engineering power plant. Anybody have that?
I don't have any engineering.
I do.
I have engineering 1.
I do
Yeah.
not.
So
I-
hooking up the cables to the ship and figuring out how this all works is probably going to require preferably engineering power plant.
Can
Right.
I persuade the cable to get fit in?
Yes, please
I'm
roll
just-
persuasion.
Can I...
You
Can
could
I
probably
actually roll
persuade
persuasion?
Tren that you probably want him to do it if he understands it. Or Edward.
Does anybody actually understand it, or am I just gonna try and persuade the cable?
Well, we understand it, but I, as Tren, kind of handed it to you two, expecting you to understand how to do it.
Okay. How about I cheer you on like a cheerleader?
Oh
Will
God.
persuade you to do better.
Lena, just tell me what you're saying to the cable.
Come on, please just get in the port. It shouldn't be this difficult. Please, please help a girl out, please.
The cables twist and noodle indifferently to your pleas.
I don't think they speak my language.
I don't think they speak at all.
The one cable that you're trying to plug in, you put it in one way and it doesn't fit, and then you turn it over and it doesn't fit, and then you put it back the other way and it fits.
I got
Oh, so it's just a
One?
USB cord. Cool.
okay. Only like 100 more to go.
It's gonna take quite a time for you.
Yeah, I'm just gonna let somebody else help with this.
he's giving the cables a shot.
Fuck it. I'll give it a shot. You know, I've -3. What this so it would be that, and then what stat would I be using for it?
Probably education.
Okay, so it's a plus. It's actually -2.
I have a -2 to education because I literally have a 2.
8.
8.
Hey.
Fucking go.
Don't you -3?
Yeah, I'm -3 then +1 for my education.
Oh, okay.
Nice.
Wow, you passed. Good for
Let's
you,
go.
man. You
Whoa, you passed. I mean, good job.
Yeah, I'm surprised actually. That's impressive. So you come over and you see Lena is having a heated debate with cables, and the cables are definitely winning. So you come over and you like pick up a couple of the cables and you start running through the system. The shuttlecraft's engine is fairly simple enough to start connecting the wires and the clamps up to the power system. But once you climb back up into the ship and you reach it back around to the AI core, now it's kind of getting to that difficult. You don't really understand what else. There's definitely a manual somewhere that explains how to do, but you don't have it. It takes not as long as you were thinking, though. Just by intuition and starting to recognize the patterns, you start connecting up all the clamps, and you figure that giving the ship a good jump at this point should get the at least this part of the ship's functionality online.
Nice. Okay. So, yeah. Well, so once I get all that in, I'm gonna go head over to. Actually, no. Until Lena, stay here. I'm gonna go over to the other ship, take a look at the electrical panel, and then when I call out, go ahead and turn it on, and hope it works.
So that took
Alright,
you
sounds
about
good.
30 minutes. Sorry, go ahead, Lena.
Sounds good. Let's double check that end. Let's just make sure that we don't break both ships doing this.
Fair enough. Okay.
Yeah, so that took you about 30 minutes, Coomer, getting that all
Okay.
hooked up. Now that you have it
Gotcha.
set up, how do we proceed?
Can I? Let me take a look at those figures again and see what they're doing.
Yeah, man. I just picture you kind of standing up on top of the scout ship, just looking at stuff.
Do I have to re-roll, or do I? I mean, I see them.
You know they're there, so go ahead and make another roll. They're out there. Yeah, pretty good. So you spent the last, half hour sitting up on top of the scout ship, overlooking the desert, keeping an eye out in the direction that you saw the figures. Bert called them wasters. As you're sitting up there, the sand is blowing in your face, and the hot, humid air kind of beats on you. And as the sun sets, you can just barely see the red tip of it over the horizon. And now the desert kind of starts rapidly dropping in temperature. Sitting up there, a cold wind starts biting at you, and you know from experience living on this planet that another couple of hours and outside is going to be too inhospitable to stay in for very long. You spot out in the desert the figures again. They've moved a bit closer. Make your military tactics roll.
What modifier?
Enter education, your choice.
Oof.
You
Still drunk.
think, hey, you're sitting up on top of the ship, Teach, and as you're like squinting your eyes, you're trying to get a good look, and then you hear a screeching sound as you look over to your left, and there is this bird-like, hairless figure. It's got this leathery skin, and it's just kind of clawing its way up on the side of the ship. And as you look at it, and you're sitting there, and it makes eye contact with you, it bears fangs, and its mouth opens up, and a long tongue just kind of like shoots out, and you hear it just screeching bloody murder at you.
Roll for initiative?
Yes,
Question
if you would like
mark?
to engage, roll for initiative.
What are the options? I guess
Run.
I'm on top of the ship.
Run. Use your words.
Yeah, no, let's engage.
All right, let's roll initiative real quick.
Wait, everyone or just him?
Do you want to help me or not?
Well,
Nah,
I actually have to go.
I.
I have to go.
Well,
Yeah, I have to
I
go
would
eat real
assume
quick.
they were
So
inside.
yeah, I'm just gonna say that Harlow's kind of inside while this is going on. I'll be back in a little bit.
I think everybody's inside except for you, Teach.
Okay.
So
Have fun.
nobody's
Like to
in
point out, I'm
immediate.
probably on the outside inspecting the ship, but I don't know if I would necessarily be paying attention to the top of the ship right now.
Oh. It's what, just 2d6?
Plus your dex, plus athletics, or it could also be int. Dex or int, your best.
I will roll int.
All right, so you go first, Teach. As this thing climbs up onto the side of the ship, you're kind of like sitting down. You make eye contact with it, and it screams at you. It's about probably about 40 or 50 meters out from you, hanging off the side of the ship.
Can I use minor action to try to talk to it in any way before I start shooting?
Yes. What kind of role? Maybe like an animal handling?
Oh no, that's not gonna end well.
Yeah,
Um,
animals is a technical role. Oh no.
No, there's not much. Maybe just start shooting. I'll aim.
Okay.
I've got my advanced combat rifle on me.
Yeah, so that adds +1 to your DM.
Okay. And then, how far away is it? I mean, it's pretty close, right?
About 50 meters.
Oh, that's kind of a big ship. But yeah,
Yeah.
I'll shoot it. I'm getting my character sheet open. What's the roll for
It's gun combat plus your dex mod. +1 for aim.
Dex?
What's the range on your gun?
450.
Well, you're probably in close range as well, I think.
Does close range give me like a bonus or something?
Yeah, it gives you +2, I think.
Oh, sick.
I think it's a +1.
+1. Okay.
All right. Gun combat with dex +2. This is probably gonna hit. Did it work?
Did you roll?
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't see it.
Oh, motherfucker. Dex. Oh, I needed those bonuses.
Oh yeah, that hit.
Mhm.
So it hits and you add +2 to the damage.
Oh, sick. What's my damage? It's, God, I'm sorry.
What planet is this? Ooh, ooh, ooh.
3D. Oh, sick.
I think this thing's about to get yeeted.
One tapped.
Please don't one-tap me, senpai. I quiver in anticipation.
Shots ring out.
Bam! Oh wait, I have a fucking gunshot. Hold on. Yeah. I need
Yeah,
to do
you
it
have a-
every time.
Right.
There you go. Yeah, one loud rifle shot rings out, and you hit this thing pretty dead on in the abdomen. So it's clawing up on the side of the ship, and you hit it, and you just hear this screaming screech, and it claws a little bit on the metal, and then just plops off the side out of you.
Does Trent see this at all? Like as he's inspecting the ship from the outside?
You all definitely hear the gunshot. Might not see it falling from the ship. Well, maybe, possibly. Yeah, Trent, you do. You're like standing like in the living quarters, and you're looking, and just out of the corner of your eye, you just see this screeching bat thing falling past a porthole.
Don't worry. Looks like whatever it is dead.
Hurry up! I yell to whoever can hear me.
Looking back, you don't see the figures anymore. So, we got the cables hooked up. Now what? You see the Benjamin's kind of like freaked out. He's kind of pacing around the central half moon like central area of the scout ship. He's kind of biting his nails and peering out of the hatch repeatedly, like looking at you. He's like, "Do you see them? Are they still out there?"
I don't see him anymore.
Hmm.
Shit. Chet.
I like that less than seeing them in the first place.
Yeah? Logical.
Have you guys hit the power on it so we can start it?
Nope. We were kind of just about to do that.
In my 30 minutes of looking through the ship, I was probably doing like a general check over just to make sure it's in flying condition. Like, I would have ran around the outside a little bit, checking like there's no major holes in it,
For
and
the
then
most
probably would
part,
have went to the
yeah.
inside, made sure like the dashboard didn't have any electronic issue type thing or anything.
The outside is a pretty simple check. You don't see any kind of major breaches or anything. Checking the internal computers is probably going to take a computer's check, or
Okay.
or depending on what kind of electronics you're checking. The ship has multiple systems.
Well, using Trent's knowledge of scout ships, he would use whatever diagnostic information he would have from that experience. You'd have to. I have to ask you as the DM, what would he have to assume would be the best thing to check first in a time crunch?
Probably. I don't know.
Oh no.
I mean,
just
necessary
no.
systems. There's not a lot. Probably the AI is the necessary thing that you want to get up, because then he will be able to better diagnose any actual issues. And since the power is not on, you can't test a lot of the systems anyway.
The general core things that you need to get working: the AI, fuel, propulsion, and flight control surfaces. If you have
So I
those,
guess I would be checking the engine while this is happening. I'd be check the outside, then check the engine. Make sure the engine will actually run even with an AI.
Okay. So what kind of systems are you checking for engineering? You probably don't need to worry about the jump drive.
Yeah, I would assume I'd be looking at the maneuver drive.
Okay, make a roll for that. Probably be an education.
Oof.
Would you like to take your time with that? Probably take you a good deal of time, but you could wait and get those 2 points.
Well, I would assume I would only be taking the 30 minutes until they had the thing ready. I was kind of just passing the time
Okay.
to try
Well,
to
a quick pass over
ensure.
looking into engineering. You don't see anything that sticks out at you as faulty or anything that would prevent takeoff.
Okay.
Harlow, Lena, are you guys getting the AI up?
we're gonna try and turn the ship on and like feed the power.
Yeah. The gun walls over there can probably take care of that for you. As you start up the other shuttle, you can hear its engines roaring a bit. Another quick recon for me, Teach, while you're up there. That's better. Yeah, as the shuttle starts up, you can look down. You can see, the vents opening up and the sand blowing up around it. A quick peer out over the desert. The wasters are getting closer. This time it's a band of only 4, but now the sun is completely set and darkness is starting to cover the desert. They're probably only about a mile or 2 out from you, kind of sitting up on top of the hill, staring at you.
I see him back again. I'm still watching him. That's just it.
Mm-hmm. What's the plan, guys?
So the ship came on.
The shuttle's
scout ship?
on, and you have the cables connected up to the AI core.
All right, someone who's like AI savvy, someone hit the on button.
Somebody turn on the big ship.
Who's doing it?
Luna's
Well,
just gonna
one,
go,
I
see if she can
assume-
go start the
Uh,
engine.
Oh, Harlow's not even here. What the fuck?
Wait, where'd he go?
Lena's just gonna like walk her way to the cockpit and see if she can find the like power on engine button.
Well, you do. Unfortunately, the engine does not have power. The only thing you've done is connect power up to the AI core systems.
You should
Alright.
definitely call for trying to go look for that power button.
Tren, do you know if there's like a manual like power on the AI button? Lena
Yeah.
like tries to fumble and look around, see if she can find a like owner's manual.
Yeah, there should be, and then he's gonna go down to the engineering deck where he believes it should be. And then is gonna start looking for it, or going to it if he knows where it is.
Do you have anything specific you want to roll for that, or you just make like a general engineering check?
I guess I could roll my power plant.
Power plant's probably the best, yeah. With education. Oh,
Hmm.
I
Yeah,
might
you find that
understand a
button
thing or
really
two.
yeah, Trent, it's all coming back to you, my dude. You're walking around the engineering parts of the ship, and you remember there's like, back in training, they went over all these systems, and you were walking through the ship, and nestled behind a bunch of pipes, a couple behind a boiler tank, and there's a panel you gotta kind of wrench off with your nails. But if you get back there, there actually is a engineering kind of like breaker, just this big series of buttons and a switch that is labeled in tape with marker written over it, Pete.
As long as Trent's confident that's it, he's gonna give her a big old swap to turn her on.
You damn right. I'll be back in a minute. I'm gonna grab a beer.
I'm gonna go grab a drink since you are.
We're gonna take a 10-minute break and resume in a second.
Yep, that
Hell
sounds
yeah,
good. I'm gonna
dude.
grab a drink too.
Hello, YouTube.
Are you back, Lena?
Hmm.
Mm,
Baby got back.
If you guys go on break as soon as I get back from meeting.
I didn't even realize you left.
Thanks.
But now that you're back, we can use you.
Yeah.
If you would like. So Trent went down to the engineering, and I don't know if you noticed, but he rolled a damn 13.
Nice.
So as you're standing up there in front of the AI core, you know, you might have your laptop plugged in or whatever. You're accessing your console.
Mhm.
The shuttle outside boots up, and Tren, you know, does something down in engineering, and now you've got power. The AI core starts spinning in place. It's like an internal cylinder that's spinning clockwise, while two metal flaps on the outside spin counterclockwise. The other way, whichever one I
Okay.
said.
Mhm.
It looks like it's in a dormant state right now. You hear like Benjamin over your shoulder. He's like grabbing on you, like, Pete, Pete, are you awake? Hey, Pete. Hey, what's his deal?
I think he still needs some power. Admiral has power, but I don't think. Give me 1 minute. So I have my computer hooked. I'm gonna hook my computer up to it and see if I can have interface with it.
Yeah, if you'd like to roll electronics computers.
Alrighty, so that's a +1, I believe. And then, would I be using education
Um,
or intellect?
I'd like you guys to start telling me before I
Oh,
tell
I
you
gotcha.
what you'd like to roll. Typically,
Mhm.
the rule of thumb is if you had to learn this in a book, it's education. If it's something that you can just figure out by thinking about it, it's intellect.
Okay, so it's
So in
probably
this
intellect.
situation, it's probably um. Well, I was gonna say education. What are
Oh,
what are your two skills?
sorry.
What's in education for you?
They're both +1 for me.
Yeah, so I'd roll education in this situation.
Actually, wait, no, it's plus. Education's +2. I don't know why I haven't set the +1. Oh,
Nani?
never mind.
Kawa?
It's
El
weird.
Pointo?
Let's fix that. +2. That is weird. So 2d6 plus. So I have 1 from that. So +2 +1. That's a 9.
Very good. Yeah, Harlow, you sit down and you start going through the files. There's a bit of security blocking your path. However, you know, as Ben's sitting over your shoulder, he's like, "Oh yeah, the password for that one is 454545."
Okay.
All right. Yeah. Okay, go into that, and
Mm-hmm.
yeah, try Pete. Yeah. Start that up, and you can see
All
there's like
right.
a dormant like background system running. You go ahead and you activate that. Suddenly,
Gotcha.
the black cylinder in the center starts spinning up a little bit faster, and after a moment, uh, intercoms on the ceiling start crackling up, and the lights begin turning on.
Woo, we did it.
Good morning, Benjamin. Oh, thank God. Pete, you left me out here for like 24 hours, you robotic asshole.
No yelling at your ship.
My apologies. Power has been disrupted. Minor damage detected to the hull. Engineering scans offline. Sensors offline.
Hmm.
So can you start the ship? Negative. Without sensors to the engines, I cannot automatically start the ship.
I'd like to go and try and attempt to repair the sensors with electronic sensors.
Yeah, do it. They're up in the cockpit area of the ship.
Alrighty. I'd like to use my intelligence to figure it out because I'm fairly confident I know what it's supposed to look like, and if I see it not what it's supposed to look like, I could probably figure that out and make it what I think it's supposed to look like.
Yeah, these military ships, they all kind of run off the same OS.
Fair enough. Alrighty.
Microsoft and the space.
I really wish that was true, and I know that's 100% false in real life. And it's
What?
kind of sad.
There you
Hey,
go.
you
8.
passed. Yeah.
Let's go.
So takes you about 20 or 30 minutes. Peeking around with the wires and hooking everything up. Pete is you know, he's not really Pete. He's the personal travel like assistant. But they call him Pete. He is, kind of hovering over your shoulder in a sense, speaking to you and directing you how to hook up the sensors everywhere. And after a moment, Tran, are you still down in the engineering?
Uh,
Or what are you guys doing?
I would be down there, and unless I see something like causing another problem where I am, I would be walking back to the top to see how it's going.
Gotcha.
So, as long as there's nothing obvious, I would be back up there. And what sensors did he say were down? I know the engines were. What were the other sensors?
Basically the engineering sensors. He was trying to do a scan of engineering that failed, and he tried to detect his sensors, and they also failed. Lena got that up, so now presumably he's doing like a check.
I would actually peek outside. Edward, how's it looking up there?
I see him out in the distance.
Yeah, they are pretty easy to spot now. Edward, you're watching, and you can actually see them. Let's change music for a second here.
My gun has a scope. Can I like use that to see kind of like estimate about how far away they are?
Yeah, they're if you're eyeballing it in the desert, it's a little hard, but they might be anywhere from like 3/4 of a mile to a mile out.
What's that in meters?
I don't know.
What's that in bananas?
What the fuck is a kilometer?
How many bananas is that, dude?
Let's see.
How many cows is that? We're in America.
So that's like 800 meters.
Not quite what I want. Sorry. If it's 800 meters, you could take like extreme distance shot at them. You probably won't hit them. But...
And Wills was saying what they were. Sorry, what was it again?
Wasters.
Wasters.
If you'd like a little bit more background, this music's not good either.
Please.
They are essentially mutated or otherwise deranged humans who have wandered out into the desert. Essentially, most of the population, went domestic. They built cities or at least shanty towns and live in organized communities. These are the mentally ill, the abandoned, the deranged, who have managed to eke out a living out here in the desert. God only knows how they subsist. A lot of the water on the planet is manufactured through terraforming technology, so it's kind of a scientific miracle that these people are out here in the first place, and they're actually surviving and managing to scrap and salvage weapons. They're actually really impressive people. Also, there's a rumor they eat humans, but unproven.
Until further proven.
Okay. Good to know.
Oh, they're bringing that box out, by the way. They kind of bring it out on top of the dune. And, you know, there's like, you're using a scope, right? So you're zooming in on him a little bit. This dude, he's wearing a mask. It's like a big, squarish, tribal mask. And he's waving a stick over his head. He's like dancing a little bit. He's shaking his legs. And the other wasters, they're kind of standing around staring at the box and this dancing dude. And they're all kind of like moving in motions, and it's very strange. It's almost like they're doing this in front of you to show you.
Okay. Yar Wills, they're performing some kind of dance. Do you know anything about the Wasters doing that?
Dude, you think I come out into the desert? I didn't know this was gonna be a day trip, Teach.
Well, fuck you, Wells.
Well, fuck you, Teach.
Fuck me?
Yeah, fuck you.
I mean, get a room if you're going to.
Fuck you, Lena. Yeah, Lena, you're like sitting in the ship. Benjamin comes over to you, and he's just like he's been staring at you kind of all day, and he comes up and he's just looking at you like, who are you?
Hi, I'm Lena.
How-
Pleasure to meet you.
How obvious are your prosthetics?
Her robot arm is pretty obvious. It's very, very robotic.
And your eye, it's like an eye patch.
I think she has a probably a robotic eye thing.
Yeah, he's been staring at you, and he's staring at your arm and your face, and he's just like he's like unsure of what to say or think.
She's like, I've gotten stabbed a bunch.
I really stabbed, huh?
Yeah,
Military?
maybe, but that's not actually where the stabbing came from.
What?
She wasn't good in the Navy either.
Hey, I was pretty good till I crashed that one time.
You what?
Don't worry about it.
Okay. The dancing continues. Well, sorry, what were we doing? Oh, right. Engine
Fixing the
sensors.
ship.
Tren, you're walking along and you hear over the crackling intercom. Scans complete. Major damage to internal internal tunnel of right engine thruster. Sensors tripping alerts preventing engine from starting. Fuck
God,
you,
I
he's very
hope
technical.
they
and
still have the
robotic.
internal hatch attached to this model. And Tren's gonna go and see if he can find where that problem is. He's hoping that they still have the internal hatch on this model, but some of the models are external, where he's gonna have to go outside to do it.
Well, we can maybe find out. What kind of role? Maybe investigation, perhaps? Investigation, maybe? To see?
I'd be down for investigation.
Just to see
look
if
for
you
that.
find that internal hatch. You know, they're all over the place. I mean, for God's sake, going down to the engineering room, you gotta climb into a little hatch that says outhouse.
Yeah. Did it actually roll?
Yeah, you did. You got a 7. So, Tren, you're like running around the engineering, and Ben kind of pokes his head down the ladder. Is like, I don't think there's like a hatch here, dude.
Alright, I'm going outside to try to fix it manually
You got that.
as I'm going. Kumar, do you know how to work on any thrusters?
I am afraid not, but if you need some help, I'd be happy to try and give it to you. No promises, though, that I can be of
Yeah.
help.
I am willing to guide one through repairs.
Well, I guess 4 eyes and one random disembodied voice is better than 2 eyes. Come on.
Affirmative.
And I
As
will be jumping out to get to that right thruster.
Yep, you all climb down. Pete kind of downloads himself to your transponder. As you climb your way around, you can kind of see as you're moving around to the back of the ship, there's about 12 wasters over on the hill, and they're dancing and chanting, moving in a circle around this box. The tribal leader now has climbed up on top of the box, and he's waving a stick enthusiastically in the air, facing towards your crash ship.
I don't like how that looks. Does that mean that they're friendly, or?
Ren is 100% ignoring whatever is going on over there.
Lena
knows
is
he
100%
just wants
chilling
it.
in the ship. She doesn't like how hot it is out there.
It's actually pretty cold at night.
Oh, okay. Then she might stick her head out and look.
As you crawl your way towards the back. Damage is inside right thruster tube. Central back sensors indicate severed wires.
Oh boy. We might have needed Lena instead, but... Alright. And I am going to shove my head into that tube and see if I can see.
It's pretty dark.
Oof.
Shame you don't have dark vision, dudes.
Yeah, aren't you a fucking
Goddamn
reptile?
being a cat.
Oh yeah. Remember those guys I didn't invite when character creation happened? Oops, my bad, guys. In case you wanted to play a samurai pizza cat.
Yeah, motherfucker.
Alright, I'm gonna quick... I don't think that would give me enough light.
Guys,
Comer, do you got a light?
Do I have a light?
guys, those wasters are freaking me the fuck out. What are they doing?
Well, if it wasn't for the fact that our second ship is powering our first ship, we could, like, run them over.
I believe the wasters are performing some kind of pre-event ritual. Event?
Does this event seem like one that's hostile in nature?
They don't have the name Wasters for anything.
Information is lacking.
Maybe they just waste their own time. They look like they're wasting time right now.
I'm afraid I do not have anything that could give off a light source.
I guess I'm gonna try to use the light of my frickin' comm system and hope that's enough to get me some vision in there.
We should have bought a flashlight.
Probably gives you like a -2 modifier. Trying to hold that and fix the wires. And it's not a lot of light either.
Well, there's
Yeah.
2 people down there. Couldn't one of them hold it?
I'll hold this for you.
Alright,
Try my best.
-1 then.
It's still not gonna be good. I know these are wires. I'm not good with wiring.
I'm
got
great with
little- you got little
electronics, but
pad
not when it comes
hands.
to wiring.
And your whole hands are kind of moist. Like, you're not supposed to be touching the ends of wires.
Yeah, like I'm not meant to do wiring. Big things like engines, combustion, that's my strength.
Lena's
This
smoking a dank joint
ain't
and
it.
shit.
I assume the AI can't see it, so
Oh, the AI, his assistance does provide you a +2 modifier. Sorry, I should have mentioned that.
But I'm literally just gonna start trying to connect the wires that look like they go to it. I hope they kissed them, cause red's going to red, baby.
No, you never put red to red.
The red wire was set for a reason. Boom.
TPK, good job.
Hey,
Whole ship explodes.
worth it. So, I assume I'd be rolling electronics, which is -3, then the -1 for the darkness, and then a +2.
Yes.
And then I assume I can give it a +1 for education, for this would be something you would have read in a book,
Yes.
how to actually hold this. Alright,
You got this.
I do not.
He's
Oh, I
got
nailed
it.
it.
You 100% got
He's
it.
got it. The man's got it.
I
Let's
100%
go.
put that red wire with the red wire, and it didn't go boom.
Oh shit! You did it really well. So, Trent, yeah, even in the darkness, with Harlow kind of standing behind you, holding the comms tablet for light, you hear over the voice, it's like, "Do not put red with red. Red never goes with red. Red goes with green. Blue goes with yellow. Connect the yellow to the orange."
That is a terrible way of doing wiring.
Yeah, that is not how you do wiring.
It makes
But-
sense.
Yeah, well, you're wrong.
I disagree.
I don't.
Does it your own way? Ship
I
exploded.
don't think you should argue with the AI who runs this ship.
Page
You're saying we're lucky it cut right here. It should be the same color on either side of the wire if it's a broken wire. I will continue to.
Yeah, okay, sorry. Yeah, you quickly begin wrapping all these wires up. It takes you about 15 minutes.
Oh fuck.
Teach, you're up on the thing, and now you can see the dancing wasters have stopped. The tribal leader, he jumps down and he lands on the dune, and he's wearing kind of like these rag skirts with a couple of metal bits hanging off his chest. He's got like a necklace of rocks and this huge mask in front of him. He's waving this stick around. He turns around and faces the box, you know, like spread eagle legs. He's really going ham. And two of the wasters around, they come around and they pull back the cover of the box. It's not a box. It's actually a old, bulky, military type cannon. Seems to be multi-chambered. Probably fires probably like bowling ball sized metal chunks out in like a frag pattern. Just like like a shotgun
Not good.
spread. It's got about 6 chambers to it.
Can Lena see this? Because she's kind of just like chilling.
Yeah,
back.
you're probably sitting in the ship and you're just like looking out the window in the living quarters, and you're just watching them dancing, and then you just see the curtain get pulled back.
And she's like, oh shit. AI fellow, Paul? Can you get me a status of weapons and or shields? Do either of those work?
This ship is not equipped with weapons or shields.
Okay, how well do you think we will survive against a Ganon?
Major damage to the ship will prevent any attempt to access over the atmosphere.
Okay, good to know. I sort of like, can you like tell the people down there that are in the engine, I think, what's going on out there with the people in the cannon? Can you just like let them know about that?
Harlow, Tren, Lena wishes to report that the Wasters have produced a cannon.
Well,
They have
this better
produced
be
a
the
what?
only issue. 'cause we ain't got time.
Sensors
Oh,
indicate there are no further issues in engineering.
no. That's a
Power is
relief.
nominal.
It's
Recommended
Tren,
course of
how
action. Oh, sorry, go ahead.
Tren, how's it looking?
Well, as long as he's happy with it, I think I should be done in here. We better go disconnect the... Well... You get the engine started. I'm gonna disconnect the small ship once you let me know.
Got it.
Recommended course of action. Do not crash into any more rocks.
I
Yeah,
concur.
well, I didn't crash the first rock in the first place. Tell your pilot.
He's kind of an asshole like that. Benjamin, whispers over to you. Lena, as you're inside the ship. He's got like a half bottle of wine just sitting in front of him. This kid's like 18, and he's just kind of like stress drinking.
Yeah.
My dad's going to
Understandable.
fucking kill me.
Yeah. Yeah, understandable.
Hey, Teach, you still there?
Yeah, I'm up here.
So, what are you doing?
So they've got like the ship on, and like
Yeah.
how close is it to like taking off?
So you can like hear and see Tren climbing out of the engine tube, and he's trying to make his way over to the shuttle to disconnect the wires. At this point, the tribal leader, he kneels down and kisses the desert sand in front of the cannon, and then he stands up and begins climbing his way on top of the cannon again, while his followers kind of take up a spread out position. You can see 4 of them on either side, so about 8 of them detach from this central group and begin marching their way towards you.
How far away are they right now?
The cannon's about 3/4 of a mile. The guys are moving closer, getting closer to maybe half a mile out.
Okay, I'm gonna get
Lena
down
will
and I'm
move
gonna
quick.
help unhook the cables.
Okay.
So,
Probably
I'd be
just
like, you mind if I fly? I am probably less likely to smack into another mound of dirt.
have you operated a scout class ship before?
I am proficient in capital ships, small craft, and spacecraft.
Requesting permission from Captain. Yeah, let her fly. I don't care. Permission
Thank you
confirmed.
very much.
You are now temporary pilot.
Acknowledged. Thank you very much. She'll sit in the pilot seat.
You run over and you help Trin out. Just disconnecting the wires isn't too much of a hassle. It takes you a couple minutes. The gun wall, from the ship, he opens up the hatch a little bit and posts his house like, "Hey, what the fuck is going on?"
Fred looks at him.
There's a cannon.
Oh fuck!
We're leaving now. Disconnect it. Are you able to fly your own ship, or do I need to come over there and fly it for you?
No, I can. Burke, do you know how to fly a shuttle?
I'll fly it. I'll fly it. Fred will kind of hop out and quickly slide down and start running over there. You'll better hurry up.
I'm gonna go with them.
Okay. Where are
Alright.
we meeting up?
We're 2 ships. Just one
Just go.
follow the other.
Up, go
Just
up.
Up.
Ben,
Up.
In the other direction from the cannon.
you guys,
yes.
you guys connect the comms together so you're communicating between the ships. Benjamin comes into the cockpit next to Yelena and sits down. And it's like, "Hey, we can go back to the city with this ship's credentials. We can enter in through the VIP port of the dome. Go into
I
my
like it.
manor."
That sounds like a plan to me. All right. Are we ready to take off?
Yeah, let's get the fuck out of here.
Out of here.
Holy
All right.
fuck.
Lena's gonna take off.
Yep, I'm taking off.
The fuck out of Dodge.
Lena's gonna take off and start flying towards the city.
Any rolls for flying, or are we good?
Yeah, make pilot checks for me.
All right, is that gonna be pilot spacecraft?
Yes.
And I'm gonna use
Artisan.
intelligence.
I would
Because-
assume it would be Dex to
Yeah.
get it moving.
Okay, sure.
Very
go.
nice. Lena, you start up the spaceship and the scout ship slowly pulls itself back using the forward thrusters to dislodge itself from the pillar. You actually manage to knock out like a good chunk of its base, or bend it, I should say. The column kind of shudders as you pull back. You blow a lot of sand into Tren's windows as you pull the ship around. And with a huge burst of thrust, the scout ship begins lifting off from the desert, taking up closer towards the clouds very quickly. Tren, you start to follow, pulling the ship up, and you look down and you can see the dancing tribal leader. He's like pointing his stick at you in a straight line, and then you see two wasters in the back. They run back and they pull two chains that are connected to the back, and you can see it activate like a firing mechanism. All the other wasters run over and like cover their heads and duck down, but the tribal leader just points at you. You see the 6-cylinder cannon fire out, and one of them streaks right past your window. You see it's actually just like it's a cannonball, essentially, little mini cannonballs being shot out of this cannon. All of them seem to go wide, that one passing in front of your cockpit being the closest one. With a little bit of quick maneuvering, you're able to avoid that and follow behind with Lena.
Nyum.
Sick.
Hey Edward, aren't you in the looking for a new ship?
I
No, you know the song. The ship belongs to my dad, right?
Yeah, but everybody has a price.
Hmm.
Yeah, maybe he'd sell it to you. He loves this thing though. He's like spent tons of credits tricking it out. Like the sound system completely covers the whole ship. It's got all like the nice amenities, like the military scout beds and everything. They kind of suck. So we ducked everything out, got new plush carpeting and everything. Telling you, man.
Hmm.
maybe in its damaged condition he'd be more inclined to sell.
That's exactly my thoughts.
Let's not forget about that, Ben.
Hey, look, just don't tell him where you found me, all right? Oh,
Okay.
hey, did you happen to see my friend out in the desert? Like, he said he was gonna walk.
Nope.
I
No?
would focus on flying.
Nope.
Oh shit. Maybe he made it back. For reference, if you look on the map, right where I said Cuggan's Cove is that purple marker on the left. You found Ben basically in the middle of that huge landmass.
The map is not actively shown right now.
In the Discord.
Oh, it's in the Discord. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Bring go burr.
On the right
Alright,
side,
then.
you'll see there's a purple marker. It looks like a bunch of squares and then like a shield looking thing. And to the upper left of that is another set of squares. The mega city covers that entire stretch of land. Essentially, the richer areas are kind of closer to the mainland, whereas the further out you go, the poorer it is. You typically land at, if you're bringing in smuggling goods, where that purple marker is on the right side, like stretching out into the water, the two purple symbols. Yeah. Anyway.
Nice.
You fly the scout ship and the shuttle. The scout ship is much more comfortable to fly among the clouds, and the atmosphere is it's a lot thinner up here, and it's a little bit easier to see your way over much of the storms and the nightfall covering the desert. Eventually, you begin bringing it down as Pete indicates that you're getting very close to the personal electronic enterprise traveler, Pete. Yes, exactly. Thank you. That's fantastic. As you duck down below the brown clouds, you can see the megacity, Voskl Central. It stretches for miles and miles. In the inland part of the city, this is where you have the skyscrapers, the metal jungle of the city. Highways branch in like veins into a increasingly taller and taller cityscape. Dotting around in the wasteland, you've got these little towns that all kind of form up little roads that all lead into Voskl Central. The tech level visibly improves the further and further in you go into the mainland. The ramshackle houses and made of brick or whatever else get replaced with metal skyscrapers and industrial areas are lining the coast of the Sulphur Sea and a lot of the southern part of the city. As you get closer and closer towards the core of the city, arcologies start popping up. These huge, massive skyscrapers that you would be familiar with, Teach and Trent, if you've been here for any length of time. There are these blocks of apartments. Like 30 apartments can fit into one floor, and these arcologies raise up for hundreds of floors. They are massively tall buildings, extremely kind of brutalistic and ugly too. Surrounding them are skyscrapers for corporations, mostly the CIMC and what they control.
Yo, Edward,
Aye,
you see that purple building over there?
I see.
Yeah. I'm not allowed there. I have an ex in there. She hates me. Let's not go there.
An X? Like another blap?
Yeah,
I didn't.
sure. Sure. Sounds good to me.
Oh God.
I understand.
You understand?
We'll avoid it.
Edward understands me.
As you pull onto the core part of the city, the skyscrapers kind of give way and fall down to more reasonable levels, and instead you have these terraformed patches of land, like actual grass, and some trees are spread out along terraformed patches of this. I guess you could call it the downtown. It actually looks pretty nice, and you've got a flourishing nightlife Peering over the city, you can see there are flying cars, grav vehicles, and whatnot moving along the skyscrapers, pulling into garages that are hundreds of stories into the air. Dominating this core area are two domes, like terraformed domes, probably like 2 or 3 miles wide each. One to the north has many large military-looking buildings, but they're not military. They're actually the CIMC corporation's like center of command. No huge towers, or they're not overlooking the city from a skyscraper. They are in a domed compound, kind of the heart of the city. To the east of the core is what you could consider the nobles domes. These are the high-end members of the corporation and the privileged. Your transponder pings, Lena.
So going clicking nothing.
A transponder is a device that is always on, typically. If any of you don't know, it's basically your identification. If someone tries to ping you, your transponder will send out your ship information, like where you last docked, what kind of cargo you've officially picked up, shit like that. You can turn it off, but it's usually illegal to do so. So there's a lot of options going on with that. Your transponder pings, Lena, and you can see that you're being automatically hailed by the city security.
On screen.
There's a woman, brown-haired, looks about 50 years old, sitting behind a desk. She's wearing like a grayish-looking jumpsuit with bags under her eyes, and she stares at you. Who are you?
I am a friend of the actual owners. Hey, come up here and talk to the people so that they know I'm not stealing your shit.
All right, hold on. Hey, Pam. Ben. Who is that? Oh, it's a friend. Ben. What is that shuttle ship behind you? Oh, they're also friends. Yeah, don't worry about them. We kind of had a long night. Don't worry about it. It's fine. We just gotta get into the dome. I'm gonna introduce them to my father. Okay, Pam? Sure, Ben. The transponder pings, and your screen goes black. He kind of just like rubs his eyes and points down. Beyond all the glittering city lights of Central, he points towards a open hatch, kind of like a honeycomb section of the dome has been removed, and there are many different like sensors and even automated guns lining this hole. And he kind of pings over the comms like, "Don't worry, if Pam comes through, you won't be shot down."
Is he saying that to me?
Yeah.
Why would they be shooting above the city?
Well, we're not really supposed to be bringing pirate ships into the city either.
This doesn't have a black flag on it.
It sort of does. He kind of has like gunwall markings.
Gunwall plate.
Yeah, you're basically like, you have like gunwall license plates.
Well, the
Courtesy of Gunwall.
That they get in the city, right?
We love piracy.
We love piracy.
You just like, don't shoot the other one down. It has a blep.
It has a blep. He's a happy lad.
Come on in.
You wouldn't shoot down a silly little lad, would you? He's just a silly little guy, but harmless. He's a funny guy.
Harmless.
Lena will take the ship down in land.
Yeah, he points you towards. There is actually a mansion with quite a bit of a massive tower protruding from the back of it. It's a large, more like a compound with gardens stretching out in front of it. He
Mm,
points towards a landing port at the top part of this tower. Seems specially designed for this ship you're flying.
nice.
As you look out the window, you can see there's a single man with a vest and brown formal pants on, and he's just standing on the walkway of this platform, smoking some kind of cigarette, watching as you come in.
Does he look disapproving?
More just unhappy with everything.
Mm,
So yes, disapproving of nothing in particular.
he's just like, ah, well, that's what happened today. All right, so I'm gonna pay attention and dock the craft.
Is Trency a logical spot to dock a second craft?
Yeah, you could probably finagle it in somewhere.
You
It's a
just
pretty big
land on top
spot.
of the first one. And there's like,
What I
the
was thinking is,
hell?
oh my god, I'm just gonna have to land on this man's lawn and just call it a day.
You know, good enough.
Already
Honey,
It'll do.
Honey, why is there a blep on the front lawn? How did he get past security?
And you just see him like rolling around in the grass. Grass.
No,
There's a
no,
fountain
he
out front,
immediately
he
jumps
pops
out
in.
and jumps into the fountain.
Yeah.
Oh my god, water.
Water. Wap, 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 wap.
Wow.
Yeah, if you look over Lena, you see Ben just kind of slump back in his chair. And fuck. The man with a cigarette, he slowly, with a hand in one pocket, kind of strides forward and stands at the edge of the platform, waiting for you to disembark.
I advise you apologize.
I have 100% opened our hatch, so me and Edward are. Well, I'm at least walking out. I don't have my gun anymore. I don't want to seem that threatening.
That's probably a good idea.
Yeah.
All right, are you ready to face him?
He's not gonna care anyway.
All right, Lena hits the button to
Yeah,
open the door.
Benjamin seems pretty solemn about that all of a sudden, and he just slowly stands up and begins walking back towards the hatch. Teach, you recognize Rory Vallis. He's
Hi, Rory.
Yeah, he nods to you. Uh, Good afternoon, Teach. Out for a drive?
I got your boy.
Yeah. Where'd you find him?
I found him out in the desert.
Yeah. Yeah. The
Trent 100% could not like stop laughing after that. Like he gave him away so fast.
the hatch drops down, and you can see Benjamin slowly climb down.
Lena is following right after.
Rory, he just stands there. He's got this blank look. I should describe him a little bit. He looks like he's about 55 years old. Just this grizzled, no bullshit kind of man. Sturdy build, not too bulky, with a bit of a shadow going on in his hair, starting to turn gray, many lines on his face. He's just this very stern, stone-like man. Benjamin climbs out of the ship, and he like sighs and glances at you, Lena, and then slowly walks forward, and he walks up to Rory, and the old man kind of just looks at his son for a moment. Go inside. What? Go inside. Kind of shocked into silence by the indifference, Benjamin just walks past him, going past the platform, and with a glance back, disappears out of the way. Rory kind of like stands in front of you all and smokes a cigarette. Looks up and blows a puff of air up. That boy, I tell you.
Lena politely curtsies. Vladilina Milize, at your service, sir. I have assisted in returning your ship. I do not want to let him fly it back because, well, I'm sure you can kind of tell from here. It's got a little scratched up, so I didn't want him to make it any worse. My apologies that you ended up in this situation at all.
He kind of looks at you for a moment and then scans his ship. Yeah. Paint's a little scratched. What did you say your name was?
Vladilina, but you can call me Lena.
No, the surname.
Oh, Milize.
Are you related to the?
Yes.
He kind of grimaces at you. You should watch the news tomorrow morning, young lady.
Oh. Okay.
Just a heads up. Thank you,
Thank
by
you.
the way.
You're welcome.
He kind of walks over and inspects the ship a little bit more and then comes back to you, Teach. I owe you something for all that, don't I?
Maybe.
Is there anything you need?
We're looking for a ship to get on out of here. Go back to the Blap's homeworld.
What?
You better not be going to my homeworld.
Yo, you invited us over, dude.
Yeah, you wanted to show us how taxes work.
To my house. I never invited you to my homeworld.
Oh, okay. His house world.
It's really
Pardon my
big.
pirate.
Listen, houses are our world.
No.
So you're
I'm
sorry, go ahead.
no. I'm gonna hold that back. I'm good.
Your High Captain, he hasn't said anything to you.
Not yet.
Well, listen, there's a plan in the works. Teach, things are kind of getting out of hand. We've got too many interested parties to keep quiet now. I'm thinking things are gonna start getting out of hand a lot worse, a lot faster.
And what do you want me to do about it?
Well, that's for you to decide, isn't it? I think you should hear out what your crew has to say and see where you stand. You've been a good friend to me and my family, Edward. So, I hope you choose what's best for you.
Thank you, Rory.
He'll go ahead and pass you, he pulls out a little cred stick, right? And these are about, maybe like 2 or so inches long. I don't know. It's like a little, it kind of looks like a gun magazine almost, silverish. As he taps a few buttons on this cred stick, and then he hands it to you. Here, that's something for your trouble. And he hands you a cred stick with 50,000 credits on it.
Thank you, Rory. One last thing. What were you talking about with Lena's and the news tomorrow morning?
I was curious about that as well.
Oh, do you really want me to spoil the surprise?
Is it a positive or a negative surprise?
Negative. For you.
For me.
Do you know Narissa Calderas?
Yeah,
Well,
I think I do.
here. He reaches. Well, he kind of like. he looks up. Pete, hand me the tablet in the living quarters, deck 2 cabin. Confirmed. A little.
He can hand things?
Yes, a little mechanical claw ejects from the side of the ship. Like a little hole opens up, and a little 3-pronged claw stretches far down, and Rory walks over and grabs a little tablet from the end. Thank you,
We
Pete.
need to buy this ship.
Tren is going to yell at Pete. Like, he's literally climbing in the cabin, and he's going to have a blap argument with Pete about how he did not help him with this mechanical arm through any of this.
I do not have the mechanical dexterity to perform repairs by myself.
I don't want to hear it, Pete. You didn't give any notice of being able to reach things.
You did
This
not
is
ask.
BS.
I pick things up and
Why
I put
should
things
I
down.
have
I
to
do
ask?
not work
It's
with
to help
wires.
you, Pete. We were helping you, and you were helping us. You were
You
just
are
talking.
a problematic reptile.
What are you doing? You're not helping.
Shutting down.
This
I would
is
like to buy.
bullshit.
I like your ship. Your ship makes me happy.
I've put a lot of work into him.
Tren
He's
is
a
still
little feisty.
trying to wake.
I like it.
Yeah, Tren's trying to wake Pete back up. That's what he's gonna be doing for a while.
Yeah, you just hear like crashing and banging in the the cockpit. You see a little blap going ham on the electronics. Sorry, not for sale.
Shame.
But if you need a ship, yeah, I could get you into maybe an auction show if you're looking for something a little higher end. Or there's plenty of dealers around. Most of them Imperium. You could buy one legally. Think of that, Teach. Your own legal ship that you would own a fucking mortgage on.
I almost don't like it.
Yeah, going legal must be a bit of a change for you, eh?
You
Who
better
knows how
wake
long
up!
it'll last.
Captain, please remove the reptile from my insides. Who is that?
That's our blep.
A blap. Fascinating. We don't have many aliens in the city nowadays. Just, it's good to see him around. Mr. Blap, please stop damaging my ship.
I'm not damaging it. I'm telling it what for.
Electronic systems damaged. Oh my god.
Oh, stop lying to him.
Mayday. Mayday. Are you, interested in staying for the night?
Sure.
We're gonna have to do a
Hearing
little
the-
bit of work on your shuttlecraft anyway to make it safe to fly out of the city.
Fair enough.
Friend, hearing of a place to stay, he's gonna stick his head out. Do you have a bathtub?
I do.
Yeah! And Tren's gonna completely forget what he was doing and go get excited about a bath.
Please do not sell me to these people, master. Walking along the platform, you can see stretching out around you. It's a stark difference from the wastelands outside. There's green grass, trees, even little lakes and gardens, and the mansions are elegant and well built. It's all pretty pleasing, and if you'd like, you can head out of the dome, move around on foot, or however else you would like. It's about probably 2 or 3 a.m. relatively.
Sounds like a perfect time to go to bed.
You're not even gonna take a bath?
I prefer to shower in the morning.
But you could bath twice. 2 baths.
If you walk by and leave the platform, Edward, Rory kind of glances back at you, finishing off his cigarette and flicking the butt off the side, letting it fall down hundreds of feet. I appreciate you looking after the boy. If you could keep doing that for a little bit longer, I'd be in your debt.
Maybe. Though one day he'll have to learn how to look after himself.
I know it. He seems kind of cold when he says that. With that, what would you guys like to do for the rest of the night? Are we turning in?
I'm 100%. Trent is going straight for that bath.
It's
Wherever it
elegant,
is.
bro. It's high tech. It's like, you know, computer controlled water jets that follow you around as you move in the shower. Voice
that's gonna
control.
be
People
like-
take a shower, very, very specifically a shower to not take a bath, just to spite Tren, even if Tren's not paying any attention.
Bren, if anybody is near him while he is taking this bath, is just flopping in that water. He is absolutely excited.
You left Pete installed on the communication device, so it like pings on while you're destroying the bathroom. Please do not damage the captain's lodgings.
I'm just getting water everywhere.
Oh. Okay. Point made. He does not respond.
We're just gonna refuse to uninstall him from the communicator just so that we get to bring him with us.
Pete is gonna be the communicator now. All right, Pete,
Yes.
call this guy.
Yeah. So you asked why. Rory will actually show you a tablet, like the one that he got from the ship. We got sidetracked.
Yeah.
He shows you the tablet, and you can take a look at it. There is a very unflattering picture of you from probably your teenage years, up on the top left of the screen, and on a black page in red text, you can see, "Have you seen this bitch? An escaped noble from Callison. Disgraced and abandoned, exiled by her family, now wanted by the nobility and the CIMC. If you have any information, please contact," and a series of communication coordinates.
Oh. Well, that's interesting indeed.
He just leaves without saying anything.
She makes note of the number.
Yeah, that's going to be on all the screens tomorrow. So maybe figure something out.
Yeah. I appreciate the heads up on that.
Of course. Friends of Edwards are friends of mine. So now we're free to do what you like.
Mm-hmm.
If you spend the night here, eventually dawn will come. In the dome, it's pretty pleasant. The light reflects blue, custom made off the glass. However, on the outside, if you were to peer out and see the true downtown core of Voskl Central, the dim brown light kind of covers the city, and all of the buildings are lit up, like stars, but it's all kind of fading, all kind of dull. Nobody really seems to have much joy or pep in their step. And speaking of people, there are so many people. Everywhere you look, flying in the skies and walking in the streets, manning the buildings. Billions of people are focused onto basically this one continent in this mega city in the outlying areas. It's pretty incredible. A little claustrophobic.
Do you have anything I could use to, like, maybe dye my hair?
There's all sorts of cosmetics you can find around here. Anything
Yeah,
you want. Hair dye is the least you could find.
I think I'm gonna need to go shopping before tomorrow, because it's gonna be difficult. Otherwise. Anybody else want to go shopping?
Ren, who is still absolutely soaked, did not use a towel to dry at all. Looks at Edward, who I assume is still around. Uh, you know any of the back alleys around here? While we're shopping for her, we might want to restock on a few other necessities just in case we find any other problems while we're bouncing around.
I know some back alley places that I've offloaded weapons before. Might be able to purchase some.
Sounds good. Yeah. We can make a quick night trip. Get ready for the morning.
Mm-hmm.
And I hand out the credits. There's 5 of us. We get 10k each, or what is it?
4 of you.
10k each, 10k to the fuck it fund.
To the ship's weapon fund.
Sounds good.
I will say drop in the bucket, as we would say.
Alright.
How much are the weapons? A lot more than 10k.
A lot more than
Yes.
10K
Yeah.
is like
Holy
ammo. It's like
That's like
buying weapons.
10k, you have bought a rocket. Oh, good.
That's like that should be your. Oh, we need actual like living supply, food and shit. Fun.
Okay, yeah. 10k for amenities fund. And emergency and ship repairs. Emergency fund. I don't know. Fuck. Yar.
Yar.
Hey, you trying to find a weapons dealer?
Yes.
I was more hoping to find something with grenade, but I assume a weapons dealer might have one. Because I need new flashbangs.
You want to make a streetwise roll for me and do it at a +2, considering you're standing here, Ed.
Yeah, I'll roll it.
Can I use dexterity as my modifier?
How?
Ow.
How?
I will
It's
use my int and
No,
my
I'm genuinely
streetwise.
If you can give me a reason why that makes sense, kind of, I'm happy to say yes.
I'm a nimble person. I can get to the weird places, the back alley, weird hidden spots that you can't get to just by walking, but by like climbing around.
He's gonna find the rooftop
Okay,
bar that sells
rooftop
weed,
grenade
right?
bar.
We'll put a temporary hold on that for a second. What were you saying, Trent?
Bren is pretty streetwise as it is, because he's used to being brokers for a lot of people. He's just not 100% familiar with the city, so he'd probably just have to use his knowledge of what he would consider normal for finding where a lot of people would make deals like that, just what he would see as normal.
So would
For
either
him.
of you like to help the other, or are you making separate rolls?
I can help him.
Okay. Roll your survival or your streetwise check. I mean.
Okay. Do I get a plus to anything
Uh,
from him?
Edward first.
Do I
Edward,
get to use the
roll
next
your
one?
streetwise. Yeah, dude. Yeah, sure.
Oh yeah. And then
Yeah.
+2 or just do a normal one.
Just do normal.
Let's go. I'm barely helpful.
So he negates himself. He gets an effective -2, but he gives you a bonus with that +2, so he doesn't really help at all.
Oof.
Oof.
The 2s.
The 2s are real.
As the two of you are moving around in the back alleys and streets, you're asking around, climbing up on top of things and generally trying to figure out the best way to do this. Edward, your experience mostly is like kind of in the outskirts, not so much in this rich, posh area where you kind of stick out like a sore thumb almost. I should note that if you're wearing any armor, you should not be, because
I am wearing
Is my
combat environmental suit.
yeah, I think
is
that's
my cloth armor acceptable?
yeah, maybe.
You can wear cloth underneath like normal clothes.
Yeah, you can wear
Well, I
cloth
guess-
under
I
normal
guess-
clothes, so I'll say
Yeah.
yes, that's fine.
All right, cool.
I
But
guess I'm-
that armor that you're wearing, anything overt, you'll want to take off before moving around in the inner city.
I guess I don't get my gun either.
No, unless you can conceal it on you somehow.
Is my sword allowed?
No.
Okay,
Alright.
she'll leave the sword
Well,
at the.
you could probably argue the point since you're ex-military.
Yeah, she's gonna
so
keep it with her and then argue.
It's your choice
ex-military.
if you want to bring it with you or not.
Actually, no. She doesn't want to draw attention to herself today, so she's gonna leave the sword.
Mm-hmm. Speaking of attention, though, Tren and Edward and Lena, as you're
Wow.
moving through the city, you. Hey, you know what? Why don't we use the map? Let's use the map.
Okay.
Ooh. If I can guess where it is, do I get 100 points?
No. If you can't guess where it is, I'm judging you.
Oof. I'm gonna point at something and be like, "That's the cops. I'm out."
Oh shit! It's the Popo.
It's the popo.
Okay.
All right, I'm gonna put myself here. Put me where I belong.
I don't know where to put myself.
Just put yourself.
All right, I
Nothing.
have
Here, I'll
settled
do
on
it.
what I want to
Here.
buy.
There's you.
Dog, where are we? What is this place?
All right, I'm
Can
just.
I has vision.
You gotta drag a thing. All right, so what I need. Do
Do you not see yourself,
buy-
dude?
No.
I need to buy some contact lenses.
Is there
I
something?
need to get my hair done, a different color and different hairstyle. I need to buy a new outfit, and I need to go buy a realistic looking robot arm.
Did you in the actors directory, do you see yourself, Edward?
Actors directory. I mean, yeah, there's the Edward guy.
Yeah,
insert actors.
Grab him and drag him onto the map.
Oh, sick.
Do you see now?
Oh, hell yeah, dude.
Cool.
Tren's kind of gonna look at Lena. You plan on doing all of that in one night?
Yes, I kind of need to.
That doesn't seem realistic.
What? Getting my hair done, buying contact lenses, buying a new outfit,
My-
and just like
My bro, it's like 8 a.m.
Oh shit. What?
shit.
Yeah, you slept through the night, and then it was morning.
Well, no, actually, did we? I think we changed our mind before actually going to sleep.
Yeah.
I know I changed my mind before going to sleep. She was
Oh.
showering before bed, then realized she needs to change her look before the next day.
Oh, I didn't realize. Okay.
Yeah.
Nah, it's still dark though. So, yeah, whatever. Ignore the light. Fuck you.
There's a bunch of light posts.
I assumed it was the street light, but there's a
Same.
lamppost right there.
Order of priorities: the robot arm is last because I can just have a dress that covers it completely.
Trent is kind of just looking at Lena like, yeah, you don't need all that to hide your identity, but okay.
Listen, we're gonna do everything but the robot arm.
Trent didn't say that out loud. I'm just telling you how he's looking at you,
Mhm.
like, absolutely just like, uh-huh.
So the goal is she's gonna basically try and look like this. She's gonna get her hair done, all fancy, get colored contact lenses, and get that outfit with like the really long drapey thing so she can cover her arm. So she's gonna try and find shops for that.
Can I ask what those two people look like that popped up on the map, by the way? Because I assume Trent noticed that while
Yeah,
talking with Lena.
as you guys are moving around, asking questions and trying to find some weapons dealers, you you are moving around the back alley. Around the corner, three guys kind of come around and stand in this part of the alley. The guy in the middle, he's got long sandy brown hair, kind of stretches down between his shoulder blades, kind of swept back. He's got a long nose and bright eyes, and he steps forward and looks at the three of you. Hey, my friends. Milas here. Nice to meet you. You've been poking around the back alleys for some goods, eh?
Aye.
We've, might have what you're looking for, if you're willing to come see the wares.
What do you think? Then I asked Trent and Leah.
I'm down. There's a chance that they might have something useful for me.
Trent is gonna stare down the one to the left, not even the center one.
Mm-hmm.
And then he's gonna sniff the air.
Mm-hmm.
And what kind of things might you have?
Well, we're specializing in many things, yeah? You want knives? We got knives. You want drugs? We got many drugs. What kind of things you're looking for? I
What about you?
see your uniform. You not from around here? Eh?
Correct. And I would very much prefer to not be noticeable as myself.
Oh,
Today?
something to hide, eh?
Well, more like I've been made aware of some less than ideal news. And I want to look like not myself come tomorrow. So if you could by any chance have a more realistic looking robot arm, or just have directions to the nearest high-tech hair salon and clothing shop, that would be useful for me.
He's kind of
I
taken
think these are
aback
the
by
ones that are-
what you're saying right now.
The other guys probably want more of your typical
So,
orders.
salon, boutique. These words, they mean nothing to me.
Fancy hair place.
He reaches up and he kind of pulls on his hair, and you can see that it's actually like a glued-on wig.
Oh. How about the robot arm stuff? Or clothing?
Prosthetics is a nasty business. Chop shops frowned upon, at least in this quarter of the city. But hey, you want things that go boom or things that cut? Milas help you out. Now, this is all under the table, understand? Yeah?
Exactly.
Trent will look at him. What kind of boom?
Big boom, small boom, flash boom. And you can see the two guys in the back. They're kind of just like his enforcers a little bit, and they're just kind of peering around the alley, eyes on a swivel.
Okay. Trent's kind of, before agreeing and giving Edward his okay, he's kind of gonna glance around and make sure there's no suspicious other individuals other than these three, like possibly like cops or anything nearby
You can make a
or
recon check.
enforcers.
Probably int. You
Trent
peer up and
believes
down
he's
the
safe.
alley, but you don't see anything out of the ordinary. Milas stands in front of you and he kind of like claps you on the shoulder, Teach. So, what do you say? You want to look at the wares?
I think we can peruse.
Good. Good. Come. And
Where's my
he'll-
shopping menu?
Yeah, I don't have one of those. So he leads you into further into the back alley. With a grating noise, he'll pull open the back door and lead you into a kind of a shabby looking small square room. There's a counter in the back, blocked off with many grates, and there's a heavy set metal door that he also leads you through, heading it further into a back area. Do not be afraid, no. Poor lighting. He'll lead you deeper into this building, and it's kind of hard to tell how far you've gone until eventually you reach the far side and you find that you're actually overlooking a bit of a view. There's a window on one side of the wall that indicates that you're pretty high up. You're several stories up from the ground, overlooking kind of like a central parkway area where a highway reaches underneath, and there are many skywalks in front of you, skyscrapers on either side. There's kind of a several tables laid out in here, and there's a man in a vest and a tie, and he looks at you, and aside from the tables and this man, this whole room is empty, kind of painted white. It's a little surreal. Welcome, the man in the vest says. He kind of spreads his arms and says, would you like to take a look? On the table is a spread assortment of ammunition, small arms. He has frags and whatnot. Milas, he kind of stands next to you and he says, I recognize you, mate. You won that game up on the asteroid, yeah?
I don't know what you're talking about.
You're a smart man. I would say that quite often to everyone. And he gives you kind of a knowing glance and a wink and a smile. And then him and his two, I guess you call them bodyguards, follow him back out, leaving you alone with the man in the vest. He's got short black hair, slicked back, kind of greased. And it's all very pleasant for the most part. He's smiling, and you can see flying cars moving around in the background through the glass between the skyscrapers. As for an actual menu, things available, I'll have to get back to you. I'll post that in the Discord.
Fair enough.
Yeah, I'll be glancing through the explosives and maybe the small arms if something interesting's actually there, but I doubt anything would catch my eye.
Would he
I'm
have
more...
like ship weapons?
Do you think we can afford any?
Do you think we could carry one?
I assure you, A, we cannot carry it. B,
No.
Not afford it.
He shakes his head sadly at you and he says, "No, most of our clientele do not leave the planet. You see."
That makes sense.
Just sounds weird, bro. That was out of character. Sorry.
Bro, Blab.
Boy, over here like that's
Whoa.
bullshit.
That's- No, like just saying most people don't leave this planet after being here. Like, wait, what the fuck are you about to do to us, bro? Wait a
Most people
minute.
don't leave the planet. Oh god.
What?
Why am I not gonna leave?
Would anybody
I
like
know.
to make a investigation or recon check real quick? Using your best of answer education. Whoever would like to can.
I'm gonna investigation with intelligence
Can,
because my education is a -2.
are we just all rolling?
If you'd like
Anyone
to,
who
yeah.
wants to? I don't notice anything.
I gotcha. I
I'm
gotcha.
distracted by, my plans that are going on in my head of what I'm gonna do to disguise myself, that I'm not really paying too much attention to my current surroundings. Just kind of only paying attention to the time.
Ren is 100% more excited about Boom Booms. Not
Edward.
even gonna look.
Investigating, like, let's say you walk over and you pick up a handgun that you like. You
I'm here for a sniper rifle.
you investigate the weapon and you look it over. Everything looks pretty good except there seems to be, if you pull out the magazine and look into the chamber, there is a small chip embedded into this gun. It's kind of hard to see, kind of crammed into a corner. Out of the way.
Yar, if only Dr. Harlow Kumar were here to investigate this. I'm not very good with computers.
It's just
I don't. I'm just gonna set it down. I'm gonna keep looking. But I notice.
Well, now that you notice, if you happen to inspect any other guns on the table, they all have a similar chip somewhere
Oh,
on them, usually in the magazine feed.
Do you tell us this information?
Yeah. Is
You guys
there a way? Yeah, I guess the dude's just watching us, so he just kind of notices that we notice this.
Mm-hmm.
Nina's just gonna politely start taking steps backwards to exit the building and see if everybody else sort of gets what she's trying to say. What she's trying to convey is she's pretty convinced that these weapons are bugged and that this is some kind of trap.
Is there something the matter?
I just don't really have that much time right now, because you see, I need to change my look before the news. So I gotta get going, and I don't really have any interest in buying any of these stuff in particular. It's not my forte personally, nothing against you, of course.
Of course. You are, of course, free to make your own decisions.
Lena, we'll assist
Yes?
you and follow you out.
Okay.
Thank you, sir, for showing
Let's
us your
not
way.
let a girl walk, I guess, alone.
He smiles silently at you as you exit. As you come back through the doors, you can see Miles and his 3 guys standing back in this alleyway, kind of just milling about. As they see you come out, Miles comes, "Hey, friends, did you find what you were looking for?"
I think
There was
it-
no clothing.
Well,
Didn't really expect you guys to have it anyway, though. I was kind of just going along with my friends here.
he kind of looks at you for a moment and says, I see. Well then, I wish you the best. Have a nice
You
day.
too. She nods and like tries to get sort of past them before they can like try and block our path or anything.
Yeah, they stand, and the one guy kind of just stands there and coldly watches you walk by. Miles and the other guy are standing by the door, just watching you leave. As you exit your way back out of the alley and head back into the city.
I'll pull Trent aside and ask him what he thought about the chips, and ask him if he saw any on the explosives.
Once we're out of earshot, I'll say, we need to make sure we're not tailed. All of that was very suspicious.
Mm,
You're agreed.
I have no idea if Trent noticed. DM?
I think you were too excited.
Okay.
You were too
Well,
excited at the prospect of it exploding.
After I showed them to him, Yar, Tren. After I showed you the chips, what did you think? Have you ever seen something like that before?
Mm. I've seen similar things, but I don't know what you'd really use them for in that kind of context. Most times when you have a chip that small, it's hard to have it do anything other than maybe basic data gathering.
Aye. Gave me an uneasy feeling. I don't like being recognized.
Yeah.
Indeed.
Definitely not good, but hopefully Lena can find what she needs. Maybe we'll get another crack at finding a back alley store later.
Yeah, we can search again on the way out.
Yeah.
All right. Lena, everything you're looking for is kind of, I mean, like the makeover and everything, that's all kind of standard stuff you can find by walking around. Cybernetics, maybe a little bit more tricky. We'll have to figure that out.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
Weapons,
so she wants.
good.
Yeah, she's just if she can find it, she'd like to get some like sort of prosthetic, like fancy little fake ears that like so she can just like appear to not even be 100% human. Like she might be like a genetically modified or something, just to like just to totally like be as distracting as possible from who she actually is. She's kind of going a little bit overkill with it. She wants to have
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
she's a bit paranoid at this
You
point and
know,
has too much money.
I would love to say, like, like
don't actually
genetically
not make
modified animal ears are not a thing, but God knows that in the future they definitely are.
Especially with the amount of furries in this game, I feel like that wouldn't even be out of place.
They're all furries, man. So yeah, and plus this is like a xenophilic population. So yeah,
Yeah.
they totally would get like genetic modifications to have fucking furry ears. Fucking furries.
Furries. Flap.
Right. I feel like there's probably only like 2 or 3 stores, like one clothing store and then like some like makeover extravaganza store, or just one place that has like most of that shit except for the robot arm.
Yeah, and it's hustle and bustle. I mean, this is the clean area of the city, so even with the brown sky, you know, it's all bright lights and advertisements, people shoulder to shoulder moving down the streets. It's actually a pretty good time. I mean, if you have the money and you're not a wanted criminal, not too bad.
Indeed.
But
Three
Yeah.
wanted criminals.
we'll probably end it here and pick up next time where we can. I'll prepare some shopping, just general things maybe,
Sounds like
and
fun.
we can think about what we
Oh,
want to
yeah.
do next.
Alrighty.
Good session.
Let me,
Yeah.
if you'll indulge me for a second, I'm just gonna.
Of course.
What am I indulging?
Let's remember to enjoy our time.
Indeed.
Fuck you, Pete.
Keep moving.
I'm gonna end most sessions with like a line, like bebop.
Yeah, I love it.
So that was session 2. Kind of get a more feel for not every session is combat.
Yes.
Deal with problems and work our way through
I
things.
make every session combat.
I mean, if you're gonna sit up there waiting for something to jump out with your rifle, then yeah, you're gonna end up shooting something. But like,
You're kind of literally asking for it.
you shoot something, and typically the way this game works is you don't have to kill something dead. Typically, when you shoot things, they don't want to play with you anymore.
Yeah.
So combat will last one round where you shoot it and it realizes, oh fuck, I'm not that high on the food chain, and leaves.
Yeah.
That's
I
because
love it.
I'm the top of the food chain.
Yes, having a rifle makes you the top of the food chain on most planets.
Indeed.
And we have 2 of them.
Now I'm hungry.
Let's remember to enjoy our time.
Mhm.
All right.
Nice.
Thanks, Mark. I'm gonna get out of here then.
All right. See you, Todd.
Alright,
Thanks for playing.
later.
Later.
I'll see you guys tomorrow.
Peace.
Yeah, man. See you tomorrow.
See you tomorrow.
What do you guys think of that session?
I love it.
Good? Cool.
Yeah, it was great. Lena's over here like, gee, I know I fucked up, but oh god, now I'm a criminal. Okay, time to get real.
You're not a criminal.
I mean, she's wanted.
Oh, well, yeah. But I don't think it's not for being a criminal. It's more for...
Well, she also did sort of help, and also she kind of, we kind of fucked up that one guy's asteroid pretty good.
Nah. I don't think you even
That
killed
wouldn't make
anybody.
you.
No, we
That-
just stunned 30 people and stole like $17 million. Well,
You didn't
legally,
steal any.
Seven.
questionably legally obtained.
Well, that Colvey guy had it coming. And,
Very
like,
true.
nobody
If
cares
anybody
if you
wanted
swindle
us,
a pirate.
Very true.
other than that pirate, so that's the
Yeah.
only guy who wants us
Mhm.
from
Yeah,
that.
but you just, like, crippled his whole fucking deal. So
Yeah.
he doesn't even have, like, the funds to deal with that. Like, he definitely hates you. He's definitely an enemy. But at the moment,
Yeah.
like, right after this, he's too broke to fucking deal with you. You'll
I like
definitely
how-
see him around.
Yes.
Yeah.
But I'm trying to set the mood. Kind of
Hmm.
let you know how the setting is, and
Yes.
kind of
Trine is sad. His grenades were bugged.
That was 100% a that was a freaking that was the fucking police.
You think so?
I'm pretty sure that, I mean, listen.
It's either the police or somebody trying to track, at least.
Yeah.
Even if it's not police.
Listen, there's a 10% chance that those chips do something good, and a 90% chance that they do something
bad.
not good.
Yeah. And recording.
these-
Thanks for playing.